Yeah. Well, your woman told you back or what told you buy you told I know that you're moving when they come later. I'm really long shit.
The way I was really told you without equal, but you're
told
it in animal state.
Where?
Oh, Maleka in animal state.
That's really good, yeah. Because me, I said so, man. And my cousin in America, she had her Doma festival. So she said, when they put a corona for the festival, when they go there, they must carry things, you know, for the children then. So I was said to myself, oh, my boss, then I want to remember the watch that now you know what.
And they say you must carry anti soda water I can afford. That's why I carry the water that lasts.
You know what I mean? We on the roof. You can pack anything and know more than you. You're full of things that let me explain to you. The woman called me, I was saying, woman, I want to go and school. The woman called me, woman, explain to me already. Dating your tour, that Marka will be having, they get someone trying to call the hard table festival, Doma festival. The hard table Doma festival. They can have it every year in Myean, America. They can have it every year. So she said she's having it in America. All the people that will be going there. Because the other festival is special. They will be celebrating the same year. Because I say 5 years now, they celebrate. So the year back, they want to celebrate it. So everybody that will be going there to that Doma festival. They're talking about people that we in America. They're talking about you all are here in abroad. But if I get a visa to go to America. So the people that who in America, they go to America, they don't want to carry all those small things to carry the work. They carry it to her for sale of use because she's going to come to Liberia to have the same program here. Now when she's having it here now, all the children that you invite, all the children will the people. So when you get in the copy book, you carry Torgbean, you carry children clothes, children shoes, you know, small more thing than what children can use. You carry, then she will pack everything and bring it like bro. She share it on the children then. And you share it free. She will share it free. No, she will share it free. She said no. She had the other one carry it to her free. That she will carry it like bro. She do all the things. She share it free on the children like bro. She won't help children. She also say, I'm going to pack your thing and go carry it. If I carry it, I know.
That we find in animal stadium will be doing it.
The thing it will be happening in Maryland, in America. So Black Hill Regional Park. That will be happening here. You know, where about we get and they call it country code. But the American people, they just change the name now. And you know, yeah. So that one can call it hard table festival. Yeah.
So what do you want?
Yeah. So my people that are there, you're here in America, you're listening to it good. Yeah. The other thing I want to know, now what is it? The date is August 9. I can't be having the hard table festival. Yeah, August 9. I read out of my birthday. Yeah. Marka will be having her Doma festival. And in that Doma festival, and then everybody that going there, you're please everything to donate to what so that you can come and donate to the children of Liberia. Big yo. When they come in Liberia, now we're to share things, they will put the children in the boat to go for boat ride. Small children they put in, they will take boat ride. They've been doing boat ride, they share the thing on there, the children will enjoy. I praise them for me to tell small again.
Yeah, this is the 5-year Doma festival. So we encourage you to keep.
So that yeah. So that go back home now. You carry that thing back home.
Thank you.
Honorable Pewee, Why you want to give my boy hard time?
Who your boy?
About Kruma.
A.B. Kroma? No, listen, I got a lot of respect. My respect for A.B. Kroma is on finishing. Is actually, my respect for him is huge.
Hopefully we're not on the air.
Yeah, we're not on the air yet, right?
Oh, let me make sure.
No, we are not on the air.
It doesn't matter.
We'll be on the air by 10 o'clock because another show is on just for 1 hour. So after the show, we will rejoin.
Oh, we're not on the air yet, right?
So how long we gotta go to talk? So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How long? I want to know how many minutes we got because we want to talk.
No, it's at 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 10 o'clock. Vote gets on the radio.
So what time is it now?
It's 9:18. 18 minutes past 9.
Oh, okay, so we got about 45 minutes. Okay, good. But listen, man, y'all get Kroma hard time, man. What's your problem?
No, I didn't get Kroma hard time.
I never met him before, though. Never met him.
I didn't get Kroma hard time.
I don't even know who he is.
What I did yesterday was that I was even the one that provided some basic information about Kroma, his performance as the deputy police chief. There was some misinformation about how he was dismissed, that he fired someone, and he didn't do that actually. Now there was some fracas that unfolded with some motorcyclists, and unfortunately the guy got injured, and President Sirleaf, if I want to term it, arbitrarily dismissed him because
we are live on Facebook.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we discussed the same thing. President dismissed him because of the way the media presented it. There was a lot of sensational process about it. The sensationalized it a lot, and the president, she got moved immediately and dismissed it. But later on, they got to realize they needed to do some probing into the matters. And after detailed investigation, the president said he reinstated him. And listen, to be the deputy chief of operation of the Liberia National Police come with a lot of weight. And you have to be a kind of a well-regimented person to perform certain acts. And I believe that he performed. He performed accordingly. And I would say this. Listen, it's not about AB. Yeah, I do know AB. There's nothing personal, but I do know him as a professional man. And I believe he kept within his professional regimentation. And that's the kind of way we want both the military and paramilitary forces in the country to behave. Work within the operational means, right? So you're not going to breach standard operational procedure. And I don't think he did that. The fact that he did some of those things, and that was it. And I'll just report also that people that that a lot of other things. I don't want to get into that. We got a lot of important things to discuss today. Two major topics. That's why I took some line. I said to people probably I don't co-moderate with Jerome, or I do most of it today because there are a lot of interest. Not that I got particular interest in it, but I hate misinformation and I hate people grandstanding. Right now, there's two major things we're going to be focusing on today: the issue about the National Port Authority, about the MD, and also we're going to focus on this information that's coming out of the CSA bus. About 3,000 Indians are in the employ of ArcelorMittal. Not that even that. Yeah, listen, it's a wrong thing to have 3,000 Indians doing unskillful jobs. But the way the information is coming out, I think it is important that we come and do some necessary clarification and provide the facts. Secondly, I don't even know if this Josiah Jogger man understand that he's even shocking his very president. Because the president praised ArcelorMittal, the field. ArcelorMittal have done. There's no company in of Liberia that have performed, right? And I do sincerely believe what the president says somehow, because ArcelorMittal have been doing a lot of job in terms of the way they just promoted their own investment. But we'll take time to come when we get on the radio and we'll get into the topic. But there are major things. But then with other side topics that we're going to be looking into. So that is the reason why we're going to. So it's not AB today. AB came yesterday. So we dealt with AB issue. Yeah. Great. Yeah, and my dear brother Ben and Robert was high on AB. For me, I was just looking so on that. Unfortunately.
That awesome. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the closing argument.
It been raining myself. I got cold, so I taking some.
The big guy got the big green turtle. That's the name of the bottle he got here. Now that cup, that's a junk.
Yes, it's a green turtle, but I'm drinking some ginger tea to clear my.
That's correct. That's correct. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuning in, welcome. We have Myean here on the ground. We have all the latest news plus more. As usual, let me tell you what's going on here. In my city, the seaport city of 4 p.m. is 78 degrees. It was 91 degrees today, very hot. In Miami, it went down to 86 degrees, and in Monrovia, 80 degrees and rainy. Earlier, they say it was light rain in Monrovia. I don't know how it is there. Myean, how you doing in Monrovia? Is there light rain? You are muted. I think Myean is having some technical difficulty there because we can't hear him. He's muted. He's muted. You are muted. But anyhow, today we have some great topics to talk about. Myean has to go and take care of the technical issues. We develop the topics from the group of the administrators come together in addition to the guys on the ground, and we look after we skim through the different newspapers and see what are the breaking news, what the editorial boards are writing, and then based on that, we pick up few of the topics and we add on to that, and then those that will be discussed. We have other things that we should have discussed like the day prior because of AB's performance yesterday. Those things are also delayed or transferred to where we are. And as Honorable Pewee is saying, there were some things that needed clarification. He will help clear the air. And those of you that believe in numbers or believe in facts, he will clear it out, and then we'll move on to some of the topics that were selected. We agreed to discuss today. President Joseph Boakai has reiterated his government commitment to promoting development and improving the livelihood of every Liberian. The Secretariat of the West African Bar Association, WABA, has announced the resignation of its president, Ousmane Touare. And Bong University Student Union has raised concern regarding the alleged failure of China Union to fulfill its commitment to provide scholarship as outlined in the Mineral Development Agreement, MDA, signed in 2009. These are the topics that we'll be discussing in addition to Honorable Pewee's desire to bring some clarity to some things that may, if not clear, we want to be gossip or hearsay. Honorable Pewee, welcome. How is your area? I know you're in the Baltimore, DC, DMV area. How you doing? How's the weather out there? You are muted.
I'm actually in the Pennsylvania area.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know you were in the Pennsylvania area. I thought you were closer to the hill.
Yeah.
But it's all right. How's the weather? How's the family out there?
I'm good. The weather is good. Very quiet today. It's been a light rain yesterday. Rain today, very light one. But the weather is good. The weather is as though you undefined in Grand Bassa compound 3 or 4, and then you're trying to with the power and coming over to you.
That's right.
Know? Yeah, it's cool evening and the rest of that. But the weather is very, very good today in terms of the way we will like it on our side. So, but it's good. It's quiet.
Well, so, I know you had 2 subjects that were very dear to you. You want to clarity on.
I wanted us to start discussing that when we on the radio. Actually, it's very important that so we can move on to different topics if you will. I don't know because Tomalin also we got those issues because these are things that will take a little time on to discuss the port issue and the ArcelorMittal issue. So we'll get on the radio by 10 o'clock Liberian time.
Okay, here on the front pages of the paper, let's go to Front Page Africa. The lead story that says, just 2 months after announcing renegotiated $22 million deal. VP Kun leads high-level delegation to China for equipment inspection, contradicting earlier government claim. Chief, this yellow machine thing, it looks like it just never dies. What's going on?
So I haven't gotten all of the details, but I saw a flash on it's not only the editorial decision from the front page African newspaper, and I saw their front page headline that about the vice president. I think the headline is talking about fixing or something.
Spoiler.
Fixer
from fixer to spoiler.
Oh yes, from fixer to spoiler. I thought that I needed to only get the details around that, but I know that the vice president of the Republic of Liberia is currently, he's currently in China, heading the very powerful Liberian government entourage. I've been receiving some reports from there about this yellow machine issue, and there have been a lot of pictorial all over the place, both on social media and the traditional media. Now, the thing is that I don't know how the whole thing is unfolding, so I want to take some time to really analyze what is going on, so I will have the opportunity to make a clear statement on that. But I think one of the things I believe in now is that the way we want to get a yellow machine, probably the government is trying to take a detour in negotiating this process via a bilateral means. If it is going to be through a bilateral means via the Chinese government, that's going to be a very good thing. Probably we may not spend the amount of money that was first and foremost allotted or tried to push allocated for these yellow machines. The first time, the yellow machine is a very controversial issue currently unfolding in the country. A lot of things been happening, and the president put the vice president in this position to negotiate this. I think this will be a litmus test to him. To see his skills and his leadership ability into this. And on a serious note, he executes this very well. It's going to be a telling development for him and for the country. And so my whole thought process about this, I wouldn't be a wishful thinker. And that I hope the government, I wish them well in the negotiation process. But if it is done, because now it's in China, is it going to be done via a bilateral means? If it is bilateral, it's good for us. The other way around, we can tap into our relationship with the Chinese and see how best they can help the country with that, because those moving equipment going to help tremendously in doing some heavy lifting in a lot of part of the country, particularly in the rural areas. Someone was just showing part of the country recently that was very difficult, part of Grand Bassa country, very difficult to reach terrain. Those areas are not pliable now by any moving equipment, if you will, vehicle, whatsoever you want to believe. Even bicycle, you will have to tow the bicycle to move through the mud. So with these kind of machines coming in, or those machines coming in from far away countries, particularly to a bilateral negotiation, is going to help a lot. So I don't want to jump the gun to conclude from the report coming out of Front Page Africa. What I would do, I'm inclined to believe and try to investigate, get some facts surrounding that, then I will come up with a definitive statement. But for now, I would think that the country is trying to do everything to get those machines, and those machines are going to help us a lot in terms of trying to do some intervention in our road problem. We have serious gap in terms of infrastructure, particularly road connectivity. So that those may help even back in our own county, our districts, in part of the entire county, Lofa, and all the other 14 counties. It may help us to at least get possible things done, so goods can get to their proper destination on time, particularly those perishable goods that are always on the highway, that is stuck on different county roads or highway in the country. That's causing some serious economic hardship to the people of Liberia. So I wish the government well, and the vice president is delegation well in China, and we hope that great things may come from there, and wait for the outcome of that.
Thank you. Myean, what are you hearing about the events on the ground? Okay, he's still having technical issue, but Mr. Pewee, this is what is going on there. It says that the Vice President Jeremiah Cohn was once credited with salvaging the controversial yellow machine deal. a multi-million-dollar equipment procurement that had drawn widespread criticism for its lack of transparency and inflated price. Today, however, the man once hailed as the deal's fixer is under increased scrutiny as fresh developments suggest he may have undermined the very credibility he once stacked to restore. Vice President Kong had led a high-powered delegation in China. The purpose is to inspect the factories that are supposedly supplying the 285 pieces of construction machinery to Liberia. But what was billed as a final and complete deal back then is now being called into question, sparking criticism that Vice President Kong has shifted from problem solver to a central figure in what some are calling an institutional bypass. The origins of the yellow machine cycle traced back to May 2024, when the $79 million proposal for the equipment acquisition was quietly introduced by Minister of State without portfolio Mamaka Bility. The proposal was heavily criticized by lawmakers, civil society, and anti-corruption advocates, who cited a lack of legislative approval, transparency, and an apparent inflation cost. Yeah, there you go. So the vice president, after Mamaka Bility made such a brouhaha and a terrible mistake, got involved and say, you know, it went from $79 million to $22 million. There was no investigation done why somebody will charge the government $79 million only to find out that it was actually $22 million. There should have been an investigation, but it never happened. So now Jeremiah Kong has taken the bull by the horn, and he is going to China himself to make deals, to inspect deals. So here you are, they said, to some, the Mamaka Bility group are saying, that he may have undermined them in the first place. Now it's a power grab. This is the fight with it. This is the internal fight. Mr. Pewee, on the Pewee.
So I'm okay now. I have a little technical problem, that's why.
Okay, now go ahead. Tell us what's going on the ground about the headline from Front Page Africa that they are asking and saying that the vice president had gone from fixer to spoiler. And I just read a piece of their thinking. What do you think is going on with the vice president for such a dramatic change and such a sensational headline? On the front page of Front Page Africa, they call him the vice president. He's on the front page with either the Chinese manager or contractor or the president of the corporation they're buying the machine from. And they are calling him a man who was once a fixer. Now they're calling him the spoiler.
Okay.
Myean, let Myean chime in.
Myean, go ahead now. Come
Go ahead, Myean, go ahead.
You on the ground. Tell us.
Yeah, so basically this yellow machine issue, this is the second time we have seen a government official to go to negotiate with this yellow machine issue, where the first time we saw Mamaka Bility was also inside. And for now, with on the grounds here from Liberia, citizens are having some mixed view, most especially where the government have sent or another person, which of course the vice president Mamaka Bility was also there. So they are thinking on whether Mamaka Bility feel the first step she went through, whether she feel that's why the vice president was sent by the president to go negotiate properly so they can see how best this yellow machine can come to Liberia. So we've been receiving some information from that end that the vice president is still there up to maybe 2 or 3 days, see how best they can test some the machines and see how best that they can put some things into place to bring it to Liberia. It's not just bringing it to Liberia. We're looking at the cost of bringing it to Liberia. And also we do estimate on each of these parts on this yellow machine that if it's poor, it costs a huge amount of money, which of course Liberians don't have, and most especially we found out that the country economic is very, very high. So bringing these machines is not bad, but we have to look at the mechanical aspect, because if the machines spoil, you have to bring some experts from other countries to come and take care of it, because we are not doubting Liberians who have the experience yet. But one thing we should know is that we have the government who is in charge of it. They are the ones who bring these same people from different countries, foreigners from different countries to come and manage it. And they are the ones, the same people coming to eat the money, go back to their country. So some Liberians are having mixed view on this issue, because if you bring in this machine in Liberia, you must have to get money to take care of them. And if you're giving them, like we heard that it will be distributing them within the various counties. So if you distribute this machine in the various county, at times people go and park the machine along the way. You'll see some guys who just go and take spare part on it from nowhere. You will not see them, but you're just here within maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, the oil machine broke down. For what purpose? No one knows. So if that county or the government cannot face it, it will just remain there and spoil. And then that's how it's going to be. And people are making so many comments on it. So I think so far so good. We're still waiting the vice president to come back and for the government to release an official statement regarding the vice president visit to China about this 285 machines.
Great. Honorable Pewee, this is one of those vampire kind of things. It's just it's a demonic figure that just won't die. I think this is the third or fourth time we're talking about this one yellow machine. Why this thing is not dying?
Yeah, it's not dying because it's a very clear agenda on the president is focusing on. The president, one of his major agenda, remember, the president announced during the campaign process that there'll be no vehicle will have hitch in the mouth on his 100 days. Now, if the president said that in the 100 days, and I knew that was not attainable, more or less, those were ambitious statements coming from the Liberian leaders. Again, that was actually encouraging. So the fact that the president is contemplating that process, I believe road connectivity is paramount to his regime. That's the reason why he really needs this yellow machine to come in. He believes when the yellow machines are in the country, when those machines arrive, they're going to be spread across the country and will help the Ministry of Public Works to ease this difficulties about vehicle, people applying various highways in our country, and particularly market women, the marketers, and and it's been hampering the economy in those local areas. So if there are no basic goods and services in places like Vonjama, for instance, you see sometimes gasoline. If we buy gasoline in Monrovia for like $1,000 or $700, we're going to be finding in Vonjama for around maybe $2,000, if you will. At least to talk about Maryland Harper, right? Even for Grand Bassa County, the road is passable. It's very good. One would commute in less than 1 hour. Telling me you in Buchanan and you have some time to settle, and even you can go back and forth 2, 3, 4 times a day from the Erie Junction to Buchanan City, right? So, but the president is emphasizing this because it's kind of a signature and partisan issue, and he believes that the deliverable is important. But let me go back to this issue, the reason why this back and forth, but that the information coming from certain people. Now, the vice president, member of the cabinet of the president, they are all exonerate to the presidency, right? So the president is the only number one partisan thinker that generates policy across the country. He will now have to designate who will have to do what. If you see the vice president moving, I'm not serving today as a spokesperson for the vice president, but here's what I would say. If you see the vice president moving into China, is the president may have designated him to do so. The vice president cannot do that on his own accord or his own illusion. Absolutely no. The vice president is acting on the behest of the president of the Republic of Liberia, because the president takes this very seriously. He wants to see this possible because he believes this is going to help the country. They agree to deploy even 10 or 5 yellow machines in each of our counties. Those bigger counties like Nimba, Lofa, Guarm, Myean, the smaller one, if you have to deploy 5 and the rest of that, that's gonna impact road connectivity and people reaching to have to go areas. So I want to think here, and I need to understand the details here, man. On the first negotiation, I knew that was very high. Now they reduced to $22 million, and now, but I think the best way the government would do this is to tap into her bilateral relationship with Beijing. If you tap into that and push very strongly, you know, the last China Africa summit where we went to, there were a lot of commitment from China to Africa, $52+ billion. Can we now tap into this to see some reason? And I saw this as part of this education is the Minister of Public Works and others. But man, point quickly, we've been having yellow machine before even you and myself. Before we go, we came on this app, right? We got technicians or yellow machines, mechanic, if you will, that can handle these machines. The only thing, the availability of the parts would be very pivotal, and that's one of the reasons. If you go in directly, you saw the operating directly to a factory. So I don't think we've been having, if that deal is consummated or interrupted, there's no scam on this, that decision is out, I think it's going to help the country because they're going to provide parts for those machines and it will be deployed in those appropriate areas that are going to help us move forward. And that's one of the reasons why I believe it's going the way it is going today. But the yellow machine situation will not end now because it's going to be a controversial issue until we can see the machines. Because the government the president believes it's part of his major vision to connect the country. And there are people also in the executive, and they know the executive, the area is also very, very polarizing, if you will. They have the mama card side of things. And, I don't know if they are the ones feeding from Africa some information on these things about fixer to spotter, and Mama Kai and the rest of the folks want to push. You know, negotiating the kind of a thing may come with big kickback. so I suspect here, and then I will be more critical on them on that line. If it is from that perspective, I think it's a lost cause. But we will have to utilize the diplomatic means, but the bilateral means between our two countries, because we have wonderful relationship that has persisted between our two countries for many years. If you tap into that, China can be moved to do things if you really convince them that you're serious in the relationship. That's why. And they suspended most of the projects. You see some of the overhead bridge quickly. They suspended some of those projects because of the way they saw things unfolding at the latter day of the former government, right? They suspended those things. They don't play with their relationship. They are very jealous kind of a people, right? They do strict forward thing when it comes to those things. So if the government want to be serious, they will have to engage the way they should engage, not to play politics from within. And it shouldn't be someone within trying to shut the government in the leg, like the CSA boss tried to do today to expose the Minister of Labor. But we're going to get to that later on in the show.
Thank you. Myean, you on the ground. Welcome, Chief. How you doing there? Honorable King George the First. We can't hear you, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Gaiman. Good to see you. Good to see Pewee. And Myean, good to see you and all our viewers and listeners from around.
I think you need a little more light where you are.
Okay.
We can barely see you. Myean, the complaints people are having here, you know, we are much older than you. I think you could be my grandson. But when we were growing up, public work they had subdivision in every county where they had warehouses for maintenance, they had trained folks, it was a subdivision in every county that anything breaks down, you bring them in, and they had the technician. Have you ever heard of this government having such a setup? It's a massive setup. Before this machine gets on the ground, these are things that they're supposed to talk about because maintenance and housing. Where do you keep these things? These are important. Have you heard anything? Are there any plans in the works?
So for now, if there are any plans, rather, we have not heard anything from the government. Neither if there's anything along the way that people can keep the machines or any of the materials. We have not seen anything on ground. So people are still doubting it because when Mamanka Berete went South Africa for that 285 yellow machines, people were saying the same thing. You have not built any places within the county where you can be able to sculpture the materials for that machine. Neither mechanics who are specified within that area. so that you can be able to settle the machine issue. You have not getting anything, but rather you just go and bring machine within the country. So I don't think the people believe in that statement from the government. They are still doubting it. So we are not seeing anything yet within the county. We've been following this yellow machine issue. So from 86 million we seen today again have dropped down to 22 million with the VP, where we saw the VP visited so many companies within China. So we still hoping to see whether they are going to set up or places within the counties to see how best they can be able to settle this problem, because we have so many machines along the way. If you go in the various county, in the various districts or villages, you are going to see so many machines that have been parked along the way. Sometimes you ask maybe your tire or something else might be spoiled on it. That's the reason it is parking. So we hope to see maybe it's the government that is bringing this one in. So maybe they are going to play a key role on it, because at times some of the representatives who have money, they send for it, and because of some money, they don't have to service it. That's why the machines break down. So hoping to see whether they are going to put some things into place for the machine that they are bringing.
Thank you, Honorable George. On the front page of Front Page Africa, the leading story there is "From Fixer to Spoiler," referring to the vice president in China negotiating or renegotiating for the 285 yellow machines. And now there got to be some internal fight within the administration for those who did the initial arrangement and the parade in town. Now all of a sudden, vice president had taken the bull by the horn, and now they are saying he didn't fix it. He undermined it in the first place. So now they try to call him. The administration want to call him a fixer, but they say he really a spoiler.
Well, on that issue with the machine, what my investigation found is that President Boyka, when the issue came up with the reduction in the price of the machine, he asked, communication was written to the vice president by the president that they should do for a bidding to bid to find which company should get that contract. And President Boyka decided to choose Caterpillar, because Caterpillar is owned by, I think it's owned by a Liberian called one AB guy. Okay, they own Capital. So it's a sense of Liberian owned company. It will be good to use that company. But we found out that the vice president, I don't know how you call it, but the president decision to take Capital was not honored, but instead a Chinese company was the one that was selected. So we didn't hear noise about it, but we heard some like twinkling about it from people within the administration, that they were wondering why would the vice president not honor the president's request. But I was told yesterday morning that the president have been convinced, they are finally convincing to accept the Chinese company to come and to come and bring the machine. But the question everybody asking is that, where are the machines that were paraded through the streets of Monrovia? Where are the 285 machines? Where are they right now? They sent out of the country. They stay in the country. We don't know. But a lot of stuff is somehow concerning about that whole machine issue, and we hope that government will be more transparent and be more clear to come and tell us what's going on. But we know the Liberian journalists, they will get on their feet. They will try to investigate to find out what's going on, and with facts will be brought. I mean, for me, I personally support the effort by the government to bring machines in the country to take care of our roads and open the country up, expand the country. That's what I want to see happen. But it should be done through the legal process. And people are even concerned that the delegation of the vice president is leading to China. Why is the PPC guy, Johnson, why is Johnson on the trip? He's the guy who's supposed to decide who's in charge of the bidding. He will make it. They will make it the decision. Why is he on the trip? People are concerned about that too. When the public works minister is on the trip, and others, I think the deputy director for GSA is on the trip. Other folks are on the trip with him. People are concerned about it. So hopefully, and the problem with this government, they don't like to talk to people. That's why I say if you go on class video there and talk about it, no one will take it serious. No one will believe you. I think it'll be a good thing that they come forward to the public and get both the print and electronic media involved and face the Liberian people and tell them what's going on. But from what we've seen, it appears as though that there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. But we want the machine to come in Liberia. We want to see the country develop, but it should be done the right way and not through any kind of fraudulent means.
Yeah, but let me just throw this at you. When we were growing up, I know you were in the Firestone area. Most of the county had their own separate maintenance department with public works. They may have had maybe 10 to 15 employees whose job was they were trained into a heavy duty mechanic, all of those things. We don't see that around the country. We don't see that in the different counties. If you bring the 275, whatever the number, 85 machines, how do you distribute that? Who maintain? This is huge. How do you maintain that? How do you maintain that kind of stuff?
Well, I remember I remember asking the vice president recently about that whole process, and he said that one of the reasons why they will be in China, they're going to bring people from China, I think for 3 years to train Liberians how to use this machine, and they'll have part of the agreement will have spare parts to give spare parts to use to be repaired and servicing, and they will be in the country for 3 years. I was told that they will come to where they will be able to help maintain the machines, and every county will have a taste of the machine, and they will train Liberians to operate the machine. So we're looking forward to all of that to see the entire agreement, how it looks.
But yeah, beyond that quickly, now so we still have most of those. The Ministry of Public Work is one of the ministry that's a very organized ministry in terms of the way to structure it back in the 80s, the 70s or so. If you went, for instance, if you're traveling to Lofa, they have a huge public works area outside of Banga City, right? And you can still see the way back machines that were abandoned during the war and other things. There's a structure there. I think the government will have to just go put some money in the budget to bring those areas back to its pre-war status, so that most of the machine move in, then you bring the technician. Now, what you can do, and that's one of the reasons why government will have to leverage our relationship with partners. And then that's why we always push for what we call economic and trade diplomacy. It's very important. Now, if you are to leverage these things, you engage the Chinese or you engage the US. These are a major, particularly the United States of America, our number one partner, if you will. The Chinese is a strategic one also, but Madam Sally referred to the Americans as our premium traditional partner, and the Chinese our strategic partner, if you will. And that's one of the reasons why we try to uphold to this one China policy, to not have a relationship again with Taiwan, respecting the one China policy. So what you can do here is you move in. It can come from the higher level in the country. You push that, hey, we need most of our technicians. We're not always calling you to bring your technician from China or from the US or from Europe or other part of the world. Here's what we need you to do. We need to send like 100 technicians of our technical people, those machines, mechanic, if you will, to do some 1 year strict for. These are guys that already understand the job. You take in for capacity building. You put them into China. So we can leverage our relationship in diplomacy to help build the technical skills of our people. Now, it's not the issue that we can maintain this machine. It's not a difficult thing to do. We've been using these yellow machines even before you came on high. You are the most senior here on this platform. Before you came, we've been using these yellow machines. We have technical people that can manage the maintenance of the machines. But the problem there is we lack the basic managerial skill to handle those things. So it's not a difficult thing to do. So We have public works sites across the country. We have public work area in Lofa County. We have it in Bon County. We have it across the country. So what can we do now? Is the Minister of Public Works to devise some good strategy and say, we'll put some money in the budget, talk to the president. The president, this is what we want to do. The president will talk to the Minister of Finance, put that money in the budget to ensure that when these machines are in, all the machines, even the trucks that we use when we're doing our own maintenance work for public work, these are trucks that are coming in the country, they're maintained by Liberians. So we have to train them. We have to build their capacity so that we cannot always rely on a foreigner to come in and they can just go for capacity building and come back and enhance it and build other people's capacity within the countries, right? So I think we can do it. We got the means. We need to put some money and just build the capacity of those. But we should stop always crying that we don't have the means to do. We don't have. Well, we've been doing it before, even before the past 3-4 decades. We've been engaged in doing those things. So I think we can do it, man. We just have to muster the courage to do it, and it will have to come from the leader of the country that will drive that process. And bingo, everyone's going to get involved.
Well, we're going to go to the next topic here, but there's a gentleman in Grand Bassa County, Representative Banks. He bought 2 new earth moving machines and trucks and donated it to the county for county development. And we're hearing now that people borrow the machines, they use them when they break down. They don't care because it don't belong to them. And now they're having problem with the machines. There are no qualified heavy-duty mechanics to service these things. And actually, there's a major difference between Caterpillar and the Chinese. Caterpillar is the world-renowned acceptable product, and it is not cheap. It doesn't come cheap. But because of the durability of the Caterpillar equipment, they don't come cheap, and regularly you cannot buy. I see this is why maybe the president wanted to go by way of Caterpillar, and the folks are saying, if you went by way of Caterpillar and you want to buy 285 of it, you'd be talking close to $1 billion, to be very frank with you. So let's go with the Chinese and spend $22-30 million and get the same equipment, but they are not as durable as Caterpillar. But let's go to, it is 6 o'clock here. Hopefully, Myean can give us the green light that we are on radio in Liberia, but he said 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock in Liberia. But let's go to something nice. They said the gender minister removed children from rock crushing sites in Douazon and pledges support after Front Page Africa reported the plight of the children. This is good news if the government follows through on this. Honorable Pewee, this is great news because the president, during the campaign, he said that children should not be selling on the streets. Children shouldn't be in the street. But this is not one of those. It said, Douazon Magibi, the Minister of Gender, Children, and Social Protection, has taken swift action to remove children involved in hazardous rock crushing labor in rock crusher community Douazon along the Riverfield Highway. The intervention comes in response to a June 13 report by Front Page Africa, which exposed the harsh and dangerous conditions children were enduring as they crushed rocks to help support their family. Honorable Pewee, you've been in Liberia, you travel down that road, you see the old ladies crushing rocks with their children instead of sending the kids to school. I don't think this should be just gender ministry going, Front Page calls them and they go, it should be a national policy with a budget to remove these children, get them in school, and maybe some kind of economic transfer to their parents to at least survive. Your take on this is heartwarming, but it's a stopgap. It's not a real policy issue. You are muted.
This is a very concerning situation. We all went through some difficult times coming up in the country, and especially with our situation coming up. I didn't have to go through those kind of a thing. It's unfortunate that we'll see young kids going through this. It's very unfortunate. But let me say here, it's been going on in the country for a protracted period of time. And I can recall the president during the campaign, then former vice president, said that he didn't say they shouldn't. He said that wouldn't happen under his regime. He said it wouldn't happen. I think he said that in District 15. And he also reiterated in the Balanced exit on the Balanced exit fee, right? And that wouldn't happen. So let me say to the government, I don't want to commend them for this because it may just be a kind of a cosmetic thing, and they will just do it for to show out, and then eventually they stop the entire program, if you will. But the Ministry of Gender should go beyond that. And you're right. Is that all viable economic means that you can do to incentivize the parents of those kids so that they will discontinue allowing the children? Because sometimes you see the kids as far as 5, 4, 5, 7 years old, sometimes 3, 4, 5 years old, 10, 11, thereabout, with their grandmothers, their mothers, fathers. There's how you call it, brutal son, right? There's unforgiven son, right? And crushing racks. And that is fair with no basic safety gear. And given that's the other side of it. Some of them get sometimes injured terribly, and some life-threatening injuries, if you will. And on the crushing sun, crushing rock. It's very heartbreaking, if you will. And so for the government to come in and to the Ministry of Gender to start removing kids from the street, but we need to put into place a kind of a policy to sustain this. Because if you don't do anything to sustain it, there's going to be a kind of a mere thing you want to show out. Then the next week you see kids coming back with their kids in the street. Now, it's not only those kids that are crushing rock. They are the kids that are street peddlers, right? We have a lot of kids. Now, those that are crushing rock, if you leave the number and go back to the amount of kids that are in the street peddling between moving vehicles in the traffic. Take for instance between the former president house, Charles Taylor House, Westflower, all the way to the Year Junction, moving towards the LBS. See the amount of children you're going to see around the evening hours from 3, let's say from 2:30 up to 8-9 p.m. because at the time the traffic via that route can be very congested, right? So they believe the kids are there, they are there peddling, hawking things and the rest of that. Then beyond that area, the Bannersville Junction terrain, the Chicken Tooth Factory, Stephen Tower Estate, all the way to Bannersville Junction, that terrain also. Then you move to the New Georgia Junction. Then you talk about the entire Clarentine area, Valentine, Clarentine. Then the Broad Street side of things also. And in certain part of Cinco, from probably the Cinco from 12th Street moving all the way to sometimes Bamuma House area. Some of them will be there hawking bread and all those things. So it's a societal problem we have. How can we put into place a policy? It's not only the kids that are crushing rocks. We have other kids putting water on their heads, just sack of water, right? Some of those kids will be in the street for 10, 12 hours. 12 hours, my dear brother, right? Some of them doing this when they come down with this ball pinner, right? In the street between cars. There's a time around the something second era, I was driving the taxi driver. I don't like to explain that. It's a sad thing. This kid came selling water. Someone was calling for the water in a moving vehicle, my brother. And the kid needed the goose to go. Just ran into, and there was a traffic on the other side. And this foolish other guy just running like I don't know. That thing happened. It was very, very unfortunate. Glad I late child. So it's a serious problem in the country. I get emotional whenever I reflect on that. So it's not only those that are crushing the rocks. We have those of our kids, the children that are also in the streets. We have hundreds of them. I don't want to say thousands, probably I would even think that. But there are hundreds of them, if not in 1,000, that have joined this, and they have to do that to help their parents. Just in the Nyenwolo, I ask, because no matter when I see those things, I want to drive later, I will pack. And just I want back. When you buy those things for that day, that's when the other peanut they get. When I pay for everything, everything came to $400 Liberian dollars. $400 Liberian dollars. You expect that $400 Liberian dollars just to get the day, maybe 1 or 2 day food. The next day you see that child back, and you may not be privileged, or that child may not be lucky to always see you interact with them. So that's it. So I think it should be a 4th-term policy. And who is the minister engage that policy? Put something in there to see those kids that their parents are having very, very difficult time. Try to put into a system. Get the system start to respond to them. Get them in school. Tell the parents say, well, the only thing we do for the children is go to school. And sometimes some of the children are not even in school. It's for them to have something to eat for that day. We can't be poor and allow our children to die in destitution. And that is part of the reason why we need government that we have to be innovative and be there for our people, particularly our generation that will replace us tomorrow. You and myself, we're moving on. We will be gone tomorrow. Those children, if they are not well taken care of, to have the opportunity to have good educational system, what's going to happen to us tomorrow? What's going to happen to the country tomorrow? Are we going to have competitive people? Probably they may do better than us. They may change the trajectory of our development system. It's very, very heartbreaking, but you've been in the country recently, you've seen it.
Yes.
Heartbreaking.
I was in the country in February, and it so happened that I was riding with the embassy staff, and being the only Black in the car, Liberian in the car, to see what was happening, and knowing these people know what's going on. These children, I mean, one of the ladies said, how much can you make from selling chiclet? You remember I mentioned chiclet. How much can you make? A child is on the street selling chiclet. Then you wonder. There was another child that was interviewed. The child said that the mother said if everything that was in the basket on her head, if she didn't sell it all, she shouldn't come home. A little girl. So these are the kind of economic situation we are talking about. But Honorable Pewee, I think we are on the air in Liberia. Honorable George is here. You wanted to make clarity of something before we went to the agenda. Myean, are we on?
Yeah, we are on the radio now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, let me talk about this issue that's trending. Myean, I want you to put the pictures up. There's an issue going on between that involving the managing director of the National Port Authority, Sekou Dukle, and Chinese national called Yang Dan. What happened is that, look, one of the problems that we have been facing, and is that when people come to invest in our country, people try to always play them. Now, this Yang Dan man, he invest in Liberia, and he came to Liberia in November of 2022. To explore investment opportunities in Liberia. During his visit, he was introduced to Mr. Dukle by the general manager of Colony Hotel in March of 2023. Mr. Dukle discussed about several business investments, including engaging engineering and construction businesses, establishing a mineral bottling plant, mining activities, operation of hospital and school in Liberia. Subsequent to the discussion held between Mr. Yang and Mr. Dukle, Mr. Dukle made a 2-week visit to China at the cost of Mr. Yang and his company. It was they took care of his tickets, his accommodation, feeding, transportation, and shopping. Now, in order to carry out the construction of the mineral water company in Liberia, as discussed and agreed by Mr. Dukle and the client and this Yang, they established a team of Chinese a team of Chinese came to Liberia to carry out the construction and establishment of the water bottling company. Yeah. Now, Mr. Dukley provided the land on which the mineral bottling company will be constructed. In August of 2023, they dispatched a team to carry out the construction of the company. Now, they got completed in August 2024, but for some technical reason, they didn't start until January of this year. They started operation. Now, the total investment in the mineral water bottling plant is United States $2,554,421, which was made available by this Chinese guy Yang. The purchasing of the equipment and machineries, salaries for employees, everything was done by this guy. The amount also included procurement of materials to complete the construction work. Everything that they said we're going to do, they did it. Okay, Mr. Dukley and this guy agreed that they will contribute an amount equal to the shared in the Addis Incorporation, which is 50% each. Now, I'll come to the story. That one gave you all the premise what happening.
Yes.
Yeah. So after they did all that, the portion of the investment in the mineral bottling company, Mr. Dukley requested that they purchase several personal items for him, including lighting material for a house in the U.S., spare parts for his vehicles, luxury goods for he and his friends, such as clothes, shoes, jewelry, mobile phones, tablets, computers, and Rolex watches. He also requested that they purchase business class tickets, complete medical equipment for clinic, construction materials, and so forth, generators and so forth. Now, the man did all the thing happen, right? So the guy came to Liberia. Now, there's a guy, Mr. Dukley appointed as a procurement guy at the port. They call him Onisimos Brown. He studied in China, so he can speak Chinese. So he's working for the port, but he's being used as a point man for Mr. Dukley in this company. What happened was the people sent their money, they did everything now. When the people came to see to see the construction and see the operation of the business, apparently now Mr. Dukley sent Brown them. Mr. Dukley is being protected by they call the Police Support Unit, PSU, that he protects him. So they organized these guys. They got one at the premises. Myean put the pictures up, the places, all the pictures, they put them up. You see Mr. Dukley all in the pictures. They went there at the premises to check the place, and the guys, they told the Chinese men are on the ground too. They connived with the guy until the guy said they might get the guys out. Okay, let the MD all them go in there. Okay, put more pictures up. Yes, when the construction started. Okay, let the MD there. And this place is a huge plant that they built. Now, why are we talking about why the pictures are going? Now, when the guys got on the ground, they realized that they tried to dupe them in the sense that they told them, say, the guy you're sending your money to, the guy he didn't do nothing yet. No money, you don't got nothing yet. So using their power, they put the police on these guys to get them out. And you saw a picture with the Chinese guy. He was attacked, he was beaten, all bruised up. Okay, and they beat him they beat them out of their own property where they all invested, took them out. And the problem I got with Liberia is that this case been on since May. It wrote Gregory Como on this case. Up to what a picture with the man bruised face. You got it too? The case been on since May.
Yeah, I will post it about the post it.
But the fact of the matter is that how will you treat a man like this? You treat they beat this guy up, made his client to say, look, his business partner say you get it out of the year. Now, you expect the vice president is in China now. You think the guys they'll be comfortable to do business with the government, knowing that if you invest like this, they can turn around tomorrow and say, look, you go harass them and run them out once they have put the money in Liberia. This was happening. But my concern, the concern everybody having is that why is the police taking so long to investigate this case? Why is this? Okay, the case is in court. These men have been attacked, but today, there's a situation of the case. And mind you, this thing, this man they took the money, put it into the agreement, put it into the MD and everything, but they are using the power, the proximity to power to treat a foreign or investor like this. Now, you think another investor want to come like brother hear that story? The question is, the police, when they asked the police to come on this case, they said they can't talk about it. Okay, so that's the question like people are asking. Why should somebody put their money into something? They come to see it as a gentleman agreement, and then you go along, you go around it and bring people to attack the very guy. It like, let me put it in simple term. Mr. Given in Florida, Pewee is our contact person in Liberia. I say, go Pewee, just send the money to Pewee will construct the team who's going to do that. Come Liberia now to check on what Pewee doing. Then give me tell the post low. That man, they put coming, make sure you're getting out of here. Okay, Pewee do nothing for you. The money you send Pewee do nothing with that money. And that's what's happening right now. So it's a serious thing, and people are afraid. That's why since this government took power, you are not here about one investor has come to Liberia. You tell me, since 1 or 2 years, now one investment come to Liberia. You can't blame the president. He's not aware about it again. If it brings it to your attention, will he act on it? Will he have the political will to act? Because sort of thing of that nature, it should not be kept. Shouldn't be kept this long. The police, you should come and break their silence on it and let the Liberian people know what's happening. The man is crying for justice. He's crying for justice, and he can't get justice. You think any investor want to come Liberia where they know the justice system is all compromised? Imagine the man put all that money there. Now they can't hear nothing happening with the case, and he crying for justice. And the MD is passing up and down in Liberia. There, nothing happening. I'm disappointed in Sekou. You know, I'm very disappointed in Sekou for this case. It's very disappointing, and I think the president of the government needs to take some action to get to know what's happening. He's an investor. You want China to help you. America's done with you guys already. America have turned different place. They're not thinking about helping any country right now. They focus on their own country, America first. And you got China who is trying to fit in and treat China like this. But you guys can weigh in.
Wow.
Quite frankly, and again, you know, this is an issue that we have to all collectively focus on. And you're right, Georgie. Investors will be scared away by this kind of a behavior, and I think the MD himself should understand better. And this is, you know, they agree that you're calling. That's part of the reason why sometimes you see some people pay people to get at people, and you get to understand what happened, what avoid it. Because no one was paying their high-end money around $2.3 million, and then you treat the person this way, and you're going to believe because you think you're in Liberia, you're leaving, traveling other areas. It's not good. But I think, let me take for once a day to believe that if this decision reaches the bench of the desk of the president, I want to believe probably he may take some action. The president may taking some action recently, like the action yesterday against the FTA chair, Kamara. There was a report, a very damning report coming out of the GAC, and the president acted accordingly and placing a suspension. I also asked the office of the president to investigate. There's just understanding that Dukley may have spent a lot of money during the campaign, understandable. The fact that he's being hired at one of our very enterprising institutions, given the right to perform, and he's going to be held accountable to meet the public standard. You have to work within the confines of the public trust. An attempt to erode the confidence of the president is tantamount out of leaving this government. So I would think the president should declare kind of an investigation, open and kind of an investigative team to probe into this matter and see, because this got the proclivity of scaring potential investors in the country, and it's a serious problem. You don't want to go and scam people to come and invest. If you in attempt to do that, then you beat them out of the country through other shenanigans. This is unacceptable, right? So there's a need to do the kind of an investigation, and you can be into the public trust, holding the position as an MD and having other business interests that are not fully declared. It's troubling also. And the Chinese partner we have, they've been doing some work and helping. How can you now? These are people you go to, they spend their hard-earned money, and you push them into these things. It's a very serious situation that we have to speak to. And I hope those around the presidency, because the president may not know everything, but if the president, Mr. President, if you hearing this, I would think you do some independent probe, commissions or independent probe into this matter and get the facts behind it. Now, if the MD is not liable, let him move on. Or if it is true that what this businessman is alleging, this potential investor to the country is alleging, you have to take some serious actions and let who be perpetrator to know that there's no room for them in this kind of environment in our country. So it's dangerous, and I would think that the news we hear allegedly is not a good development. We hope and pray that there will be some outcome into this, and you investigate. If it is true that this man got some investment, allow him to carry on his investment. Don't rob him out of his hard-earned money. This is unacceptable if it is just established to be true. So there will end on this one. I think we should discuss it and look into it to the end, not to just discuss it from the surface today, and then tomorrow we cease on it. No, we need to even find a way to get to this business, this potential alleged investor, to hear his side of it sufficiently, and those that are even associated with him to get more dossier on this matter, so that we can elevate it to the level. Because it's probably that we can bring it to other partners, right? Other partners that is the behavior of certain alleged behavior of certain government officials in the country that are indulged into act that are unbecoming of a government official. It's dangerous. It's not a good sign for the government. If the president is listening, you have to do something about it to investigate, find out, and take appropriate action.
Right. Welcome, Victor.
Thank you, Jerome. It's good to be joining you guys again. Good to be here. Let me also say hi to our audience in there. They always interact with us when we're here, so we have to also acknowledge them. But it's good to be here. Yeah, I mean, I came on you guys. You're talking about this case. I absolutely agree with the comments from both Chief Tomalin and Sylvester. This is not good for business. First of all, the rule of law question still hangs over the country. Whether we are a country of laws or a country of men. Do we follow our constitution? Do we allow the laws, to prevail? And Chief Tomalin pointed out this case has been on the radar for quite a while. There are some cases that are fast tracked for specific reasons. I think this is one of those cases that should have been fast tracked because one, it involves a government official, high ranking government official. Two, the investor. And so the image that this projects out there is not good. It projects the image of a country where investors can come and bring their money, and there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee they will get, their money's worth of investment. And this is pretty, by Liberian standards, this is a pretty significant amount of money, according to the reporting. Excuse
me, Mr. Nangwe, 3.6 million, I said, by Liberian standards.
Exactly. So that's a pretty significant amount of money. Yeah, Jerome. So yeah, I don't know why it's taking this long, but I think they should really quickly, going after this case with the sole objective of restoring investors' confidence.
This doesn't do well for our country. Investor confidence is shaking, and it smacks of, as Sylvester said, as a government operated throwing his weight around. I'm sure this were a case involving you and I, who are not, the government, United Party and big wigs. This matter probably would have gone to court a long time ago. Why is it taking so long? Those are the questions I don't have answers to. But I agree. This paints a very bad picture of Liberia as a very bad destination to come and do business. It's not good.
Well, Honorable George, I think I confided in you, but I'm going to say this on the air. When I came from Liberia, one embassy that I was in, we were sitting with some of the folks watching the Kansas City Chiefs during the playoffs. And he introduced himself as the chief economic advisor to the embassy. And I asked him, I said, why is it that we are not seeing investors come to Liberia? And he turned to me, he said, not on my watch. This is somebody who is excited. And I asked him his job, what is your job description? His job description is to give investors from the foreign countries the green light to invest. And he said to me, I will not recommend anyone to invest in Liberia. And I said, why? He said, Liberia is beyond high risk. He said, if you are going to invest in Liberia, you have to invest at your own risk, but we are not going to recommend that you invest in Liberia. And 3 months after he said this to me, this is what we call extreme high risk. Going around your national national interest and doing things on your own. And these guys rob you and beat you up. This is strong arm robbery here. If this man had gone through the Republic of China, this wouldn't have happened. But instead, he decided to take the risk to come to Liberia on his own because some guy gave him a gentleman's agreement. And you ask him why you think it's taking long for this kid to be adjudicated or investigated, because the $3.6 million is being spread around. It is safe to say that the agencies that are supposed to be involved investigating these things, they themselves are being greased. This is a lot of money. These people don't care about. This is why my uncle told me, he said, whenever you're in America, when someone comes to you and say, listen, trust me, I'm a Christian. He said, run as far as you can. These are the guys who run around and say, I'm a good Muslim, I'm a good Christian, I'm a good Jew, I'm a good this. Then they turn around and do this. But when it comes to you, they don't want to be good Christian and good Muslim. But look at the character here. Somebody is investing $3.6 million that could create jobs for a lot of Liberian people. But here we are, because we are selfish and greedy. You took all the money, put it in your pocket, and to hell with Liberia. Then you say you're going to beat him up. Mr. George, we are in trouble.
Yeah, seriously, look. And the thing is that there's a video, I think, Myean, when a video where the Chinese guy crying and say, I want to talk to Brown. Dr. Brown.
Yeah, let me just hold on some more as I try to pull it up.
Okay, yeah. The Brown guy, policeman T. Brown, he's the guy who can speak Chinese, right? But he's the guy who was sent to make sure that all the thing is carried on. And the MD was far from it. But then they said the next morning, he texted the guy and said, oh, my man, he asked the guy who was whipped with a flog. He said, oh, my man, how you doing? You okay? You okay? I'm easy to say he's not aware what's happening, but there was an orchestrated stuff. They designed to scare these guys to get them out. So because when we scare them, I don't think they'll come back. They won't come back here, you know. But the guys already sent that money, invested, and they look at the factory. The factory is huge, a big water plant. Then people have employed there and so forth. But people put their money into something. You get 50%, the person get 50%. Now you try to run the people out of the country because you have power and everything, and they're using the police to help you. And like you said, and this is why I got a problem with Gregory Como. When you, we're tired of talking to people that are close to him. You got to face this question. When you ask him, he'll tell you on an investigation. That's all. Since May, this man crying for justice. You can't understand what's going on. It affects this country. Who will want, like you said, Mr. Nangwe, investor confidence will be eroded. Who will put that money into Liberia? Look, we're talking on the weekend, man. Somebody said, Tomalin, have you realized that since this government came to power, now what investment have come to this country? All these things, people can check. People go and check. Let's see the climate. They check Liberia. Let's see what like investment climate in Liberia. Check the judiciary. The judiciary is fair and honest? No, don't try it. You won't get it. If something happens, you won't get money out of it. It will dupe you. This is some of the reasons why. So, Mr. Sekou Dukle, you need to come clear. You need to break your silence on this issue to tell us what's going on. Whether the accusation against you is true, we see pictures, we see everything. So, Mr. Gregory Coleman, when the case will be brought to Liberian people's attention. So, we want to know what's happening. It's important that people said, we could talk about it, we'll elevate this case, talk about it, and then we'll see what happens. Because, so let's say tomorrow I won't carry my investors in the country, and they will face the same problem. They say, well, yeah, we need to get rid of this thing that's happening. It's
yes. The investment climate will have to be very great in the country. And you create the ambience for investors so they believe, number one, you get them security. So if you're trying to weaponize the police against investor, you are potentially scaring them away if it is true. And I will use the word if when it's established, right? That's why I say so seeing these things and
give us some.
Yes.
Let's go see, bro. Okay, let's go see. Let's go see, bro. Let's go see. Let's go see, bro. Let's go see, bro. Let's go see, bro.
Hey, you. He said I go see Brown. Brown is the guy, is the MD point man. Brown.
Okay. And it is true. So we have using the state police via the Liberian National Police. And again, that's some of the things. I saw Gregory the last time pointing these guys on the highway, seeing the guy that involved in corruption. See the guy, the video men take behind the scene. Then they want to sit and behavior that they the men are struggling with their part vehicle, they're taking dimes. And they if you see what the people these guys are doing now, they are under the direct instruction of Central. You don't do that. You don't use the security. You don't weaponize the security apparatus against potential investor in a country that is damn poor. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do it. If these people move on, because these people will establish, come and invest them, and they will implore our brothers and sisters in the country. Some of our mothers and fathers and uncles will implore them that it will ease the dependency syndrome we have. The terrible dependency syndrome we have in the country. And you are using security forces, the police with the carrying weapon, AK-47, to intimidate and harass investors. This is unacceptable. And we sit here and believe nothing is unfolding. I will hope the class reloaded will invite the Gregory Coleman there and ask him, why is he doing this kind of a thing? Why are you? I mean, it's troubling because if this kind of a video continues, and today you heard me signing the way I was signing, we were praying for the country to forge on so that the vice president flying way there will see and bring the yellow machine game in our country. But we have these kind of counterproductive agents that are undermining the president's progress because of their personal aggrandizement. It's unacceptable. Until we can all realize that those that are in the system, that some of their own doing some personal damage to them, like the next topic I'm about to get into, is the same as happening in the country. The government is not being affected. The opposition is not even the one that undermining the government. It's the government themselves. Evident by what we just saw just now, to see gunmen, almost 5-6 gunmen there to arrest just a potential investor in the country because he's crying forward about someone that got influence in the country that's trying to rob in all his own investment, and you want to get him out of the system. That's not acceptable. And that's one of the reasons why the people are crying out to go to demonstrate or to protest. We can't sit and allow these things happen and think everything is rosy in the country. And believe one group of people, like yesterday, they didn't rest to bring other people down. So they did themselves there. They didn't want to create the opportunity for the country to move on. Because if you brought investors, you're going to help our people. You're going to reduce the dependency syndrome in the country. People will be employed. They will wake up and go to work. But if you want to send your men, you have to, listen, we will have to tell the police chief and the rest of the guy to try to leash their attack doors and begin the process about protecting the sanity of the country. You don't use police officer or the MD, don't use police officers to do these things. It's wrong. It's harming Mr. Barker. Not harming them. Most of the guys' mission is to just think the coming government to enrich themselves and live this kind of opinion life. It's not all about that. It's about service to the people. Most of our people, those kids that are standing in the street, they are hungry. Some of them are not going to school because of the kind of way we manage things. And then other people will not understand these things. They want to jump to give themselves self-glorification. And then they make big statements sometimes. They don't understand the intent of the statement, the way we're going to harm their own government. I'm not the one saying it. I didn't support Mr. Boakai, but I wish him well. My thought process about him, I always wish him well, because if he's doing well in the country, it's going to impact our people back home in Lofa, our people back home in where from where my dear brother Francis Bobo is senator. We're impacting. Oh yes, where honestly, they were impacting.
Welcome, Sarah.
So it's unfortunate, but I'm sending back to introduce the next topic if you can allow Sarah to come on.
Yes,
before you introduce the next topic, I want to say something on that.
Yeah, go ahead. That's why I said you can go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to our guests and followers. You know, I saw that story and I heard about it, a rare portion of it. It's just so disappointing. And I know I heard that the director spent a lot of money on United Party for them to come to power. I think in the tune of $1 million or so. I'm not sure. I stand to be corrected. So I think the director is trying to get his money out, but at the end of the day, he's endangering the lives of our people. He's endangering the image of our country. And this is not going to go down well with, I'm pretty sure if President Boakai hears that, it's not going to go down well with him. But according to sources, President Boakai does not watch social media, so I don't know how he's going to hear it. But I'm sure his handlers will tell him, this is horrible, this is evil, it's not good for our country, it doesn't give us any good image. And I'm not surprised that up to this point, they call themselves elites and both people, educated people. Up to this point, they are not able to bring one investor into the country because of this kind of attitude, this kind of bad deals they are carrying out. There was a post that I posted on my page from one of their Fort Sawyers crying. They are not being able to get jobs. These were people who wanted to bring this government to power. And these kids are crying every day. They have not been able to get them jobs. They are not empowering them, but they are empowering themselves. They are rescuing their own pockets. They are not giving these kids any job because of some of these things. How can you do stuff like this to an investor, someone who wants to come and create jobs, opportunity for your people, and do them with such amount, So we are calling on the director to come on and clarify this allegation against him. And if President Boakai's handlers are hearing this, they need to put it down in front of the paper so he can take some actions. Thank you.
Well, Honorable George and Pewee, I want you guys to chime in on this. When I was in court for the Stanton Waterspoon case, the main reason why they hired him was that he was doing business, transferring money from one state to another. So they hired him for wire fraud. Here, if I got you clearly, Honorable George, you said they told a Chinese man to fix his house in the United States and do all the other stuff here. Did I hear you right?
Yes, it's all. In fact, I just get a letter from him. It's a communication from the guy lawyer, Councillor Johnny J. Momo, Momo and Associates Legal. Yeah, it's everything here. He wrote to Greg. I think I put in the chat room. Wrote to Gregory Coleman. It's in the chat room. Yeah.
Great. Honorable Pewee, this is serious stuff.
This is ridiculous.
If the Chinese man spend his money and transfer that money from China to Duclay's account or anywhere in the United States for fraudulent use, that's wire fraud. That's what they got Stanton Waterspoon on. That is interstate or international commerce. That is illegal.
Wow. Yeah, you know, we've been very. We don't have to be, and that's why I said to people. Someone was saying to me the last time, said people believe that we are unnecessarily critical. No, I said I don't think so, right? And I told the person, I said, hey, we've got people of impeccable records and background, the rest of that, well-rounded people that are tough in trying to analyze issues. We all got our own side of looking at things. And for me, I'm not dogmatic. I don't just move to criticize someone because I believe I should hit the person on the basis of because I'm not part of the institution. No. What I believe in is to critically look at the national issues and do a kind of an independent analysis of them and come up with my own thought process here. To be privileged government position, as one of my own big brother would say, he said, when you have your day in the sun, you move and do it. If you out, you out. You observe what is unfolding. And I respect that decision very well. If you are privileged to hold a government job today, behave as though tomorrow, the next day, you're going to be out. And those are you going to meet. And that's one of the reasons there are few people in this, ever since I started getting into things, people that I interacted with, particularly in the Liberian governance system. And there was a time I spent some time in Bon County, Banga, and I met a big brother, and he said to me, "There's one." I told him, he said, if I get back quick, I will pivot quick. I just want to pivot a little bit. Who are those that you respect? The guy, he said to me, there's a big brother in Liberia. He worked along with Amara Corner. They call him James Scotty. If you went to see him, you would think that he is the office boy in his own office. I told him, he said, why are you saying that? He said, because he's very down to earth. If he cannot help you for what you want for, the way he will talk to you, the guy said to me, he said, everything you go home, say your problem will be solved. He said, and he will always, whatsoever he will do to impact, you're going to do that. He'll respect you.
Can I say something before you finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jim has been like that from high school days.
Okay.
He has been like that from high school. That's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, and he said to me, if every government official would lay that way, none of them would have problem with it. It's true. These guys come to government. They believe and want to believe that they want to be there forever. No, you're not going to be there forever. We're not even going to live forever. Then you think you'll be in government forever. No. Yeah, you're going to send it. So government is a serious situation to allow someone to transfer money for your personal development.
That's right.
And then you still, I will hope, and this matter, if I will try to raise this issue from it's going to be beyond this. I'm going to be calling OK FM tomorrow. We're going to be discussing it from all angles. We will have to look into this. If it is true that the MD did this to this man, it's not only fraudulent,
right?
But it is unacceptable, and the president should take some action, and his lawyer should stand firm behind these things so that we will stop would-be perpetrators of doing these kind of unwanted things. It is very unnecessary. And given you right, we should stop it. It is true, the letter was saying there. Because this is I think Tomalin didn't just bring this thing up. He did his background investigation. And that's the kind of thing I can be very animated to discuss. Right? When things are structurally organized and with strong evidence, You know, we move to discuss
The way he's stretching on the straw.
yes, all evidence, and we move to discuss them, and then we provide the leeway to see the country because the country is good. Trust me, it's those guys coming and invest. Somebody will come from where Lofa County is, also district, Voyama district, Kwaniboni district, Kodahun district will get job there. So I will come from behind the Putu village. It's a village I want to be on Putu. Yes, they will come from there sometime. The man will say, I'm tired hunting for elephant in this forest. I'm going now back, you know, because the Grandian and Lofa are very good in hunting. You know, most of the Grandian left from Grandian, they went from, and many of the Grandian that are interacting in Lofa, they left to come from women in Lofa County because they are very good in hunting also as the Lofians. Some of the people will retire from this thing, they can't get job from that Chinese factory. Someone from my own home and my own in-law place in Hapo or Plibo, they will come from there to they will get job. So the progressive then will say, "Ali will start 18 now. People doing it for they will be happy." But the progressive are not happy with the kind of thing happening. People weaponizing the police to target potential investors. It's scary. We think it's likely, but it's scary.
It is. Can I add something? Another point I wanted to add is, you know, I'm pretty sure the Chinese people have their business association. And these people, if they happen to be part of their business association in China, and this, if this thing happen to be true, and this guy, this social thing to this business guy, you think what they might be communicating among themselves? Like, you know, another business entity will know exactly what happened to them. And it's a potential problem for us because then, I mean, if say for example, the vice president is in China right now negotiating for yellow machine, what do you think this guy is going to be thinking in their head? They're going to be 5, 6, 7, or 10, you know, steps ahead of us in terms of how they can deal with us because of these kind of activities. You know, it's not good for our country. It's not a good image for our country. And it's just ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Seriously.
Let me welcome Mr. Anthony Gay. Anthony Gay, you are an hour, 30 minutes late. It's all right. I got to put you on this spot. And you are working for me. I will reprimand you. You told me you were going to be here no later than 6. You are 49 minutes late.
I take my break at 6 o'clock.
But in class, when you are more than 1 period late, you go.
Oh yeah.
Hold on now. Every day when I come on here, I can be at work. I have to use my break time. And my break time, I can't come on the show and be eating. So I have to take some of my break time to eat and come on the show.
Come on when you can give us a good hour, but you come on.
So the man is going to be pressed.
You don't need to. Anyway, go ahead. Today, there's your final warning. If you're not here by 6, then go ahead. 6.
Once I get a link, I'll be here by 6. All right. I mean, Sarah said, you know, part of what I want to say. But listen, investors come to the country not just for individual groups. They come to the country for the opportunity there to invest for everyone to benefit. The way people go about, you know, harassing people, you know, taking money from people, duping business investors, that behavior already job business high in the country. We have a youthful population that are jobless.
Telling you.
We have people, quote unquote, action agents at LDA, over 1,000 plus. It was confirmed on this platform that yes, indeed, they have agents who are not on payroll. These men and women wearing the uniform with the Liberian flag on it, and they're not on payroll. And then people are duping investors. I mean, what are you looking for? These kind of people need to be investigated and if found guilty, prosecuted. This is not my brother, my sister business. This is opportunity for other people to benefit. It's what you ruin. Things that will change their living conditions and create opportunity for the next generation after them. And we should not take this lightly. This is bad. This is not a joking thing. So I think this administration needs to step up.
Great. Mr. Pewee, the second topic here is something that you brought up to our attention, and I want you to introduce it because it's very
I will leave a couple of minutes to do that. That's what I'm about to do. I think we all will go and we will seek the input of everybody on a serious note on this.
Lay the basis.
It's the report coming up today from the from there, I think the CSA boss, Josiah Joker,
Yep, I read it.
visited the Liberian Senate, and he said that 3,000 Indians have been hired, or they're hired hired by ArcelorMittal, that are doing jobs, unskillful jobs that Liberian could do. And basically, I thought the politics of that is good, if you will. To hear that alone, to say 3,000 Indians coming to the country and get hired over Liberian, that's a good politics. But unfortunately, if it is inaccurate, and that's the point I'm trying to drive at, first and foremost, and the messenger himself, is it first and foremost intended to grandstand or to shut in the lives of the labor ministry? Because the authority institution, the statutory institution responsible to get update on these things, I don't know how the Liberian Senate moved to invite the CSA boss that should be handling matters of civil servant in the country, not private institution. They didn't invite the labor minister, but they invited the labor minister. He gave different statistics. And then the CSA boss is coming up, shutting his own boss, the president, because the last time the president went onto the plane, I think Anthony even said some of the things about the plane, the kind of a job we create. The president said it was the best company ever in the history of Liberia.
Yep.
He said you are very satisfied with their performance. Today, the CSA boss came, he contradicted that and even challenged the president on this problem. Now, let's go back and say this. He said 3,000 expat, because if you were to see in the metric they have, the total employment even of the ArcelorMittal, the total expat we have is not 3,000. It's about 1,700, 1,735.
Yep, that number sounds about right.
Yes, 1,735. No, given the reason why I'm saying this, and that's what I said for the first portion of our discussion, we have people in the Joseph Boakai administration that are shooting the administration in the leg themselves, not the opposition. He said that was 3,000. It's not 3,000. We have 1,735 here. And these are experts that are specialized in, we got specialties in construction and different engineering related fields. So it's not, as he stated today, it's not unskillful job most of those guys are doing. It's if we were to go back to the total hire of the company, the total hire, the full time, we have 2,448. 40 Liberians, 2,448, 40 hire total, full time rather. Of the 2,448 Liberians, we have 1,442 expat. That's the full time hire. Then we have those at the fixed term hire. There where we have the number of Liberians hired is 7,260 Liberians, 81%. 260 Liberians, constituting 81%, with 1,735 that the CSA boss erroneously alluded to today, that constitute 19%. And this is not only Indians, it's mixed. We got some mix into that. Now, but the difficult portion of this issue.
But where are you getting your data from, Pewee?
I'm getting my data. You know, I research a lot.
Because you said that the CSA boss erroneously. I mean, he had his own data.
No, he's not even. I come in. You guys gonna come in? So I will take a few other minutes. I will end here. The CSA boss is not the statutory institution that will give this kind of a data on these things. They agree that those people came to the country, as we say, it is true, it's a bad politics, but they agree. Were they smuggled into the country? No, they weren't. These are people that came to the country and were given work permit by the same government. That's the debate here. They were given work permit by the Joseph Boakai administration, not the Guarm administration. So if you're saying now that the government of Joseph Boakai is ignoring Liberians, is the CSA boss is saying that because the people came, and now are you not giving the work permit because of what? So the CSA boss gave different information on 1,000, little over 1,000. I mean, the labor minister, labor over 1,000, and he's coming up to say the number is 3,000. My point here, my dear sister, is that the overall process of what we're seeing is that these people are coming to the country. One, they've been processed by the Liberian government, not the Chinese government or not the Indian government, if you will, but by the Liberian government through issuing a work permit. And our work permit last span is 1 year. You pay for the work permit 1 year. So the number he gave the Liberian Senate today, I would believe the Liberian Senate will go back and invite both of them, the Labor Minister, and ask him how he got his information. What he did today, he exposed the Labor Minister to be incompetent. And he gives some misleading information about his own President Boaka. That's the point. So if you are to go back to the metric, as I said to you, the total employee of ArcelorMittal today, as we speak, is 8,995. 8,995. That will come from fixed term in contractors, and we have full-time employment individuals that Liberian constitute huge portion of. The full-time is Liberian is 2,448, and then we have the expat that will be mixed up around 1,442. Now we need to focus on the line, and then the fixed term higher. We have 7,660 Liberians, 81%, 19% will constitute 1,735. Now the intent of this is not basically to come up and say that we're trying to push or promote or whatsoever thing he said to do to go against, and no. My own issue here is, and I believe in fact-checking information, and when we operated the new program, as we still doing, and we're trying to be very proactive, is we ensure that we got information that are accurate. We don't want people to do grandstanding here. Like you want to be the best man or the most smart man in the room, and then you give him misinformation about others to indict them to take the glory.
Right.
The information coming out of the CSA boss, something he shouldn't be providing. He's targeted the current labor minister and he erroneously get information that are not factual. And that's the point. And also prove the contrary to what the president stated. The president's statement versus what he said today, and I don't know the condition, the barometer news by the Liberian Senate to invite him, because the CSA boss is statutorily responsible for handling civil service matters. Government
employees
that work for the government of Liberia, not private entity like the CSA. I thought he would have said to us, there's no one making $100 in the civil service now. I thought he should have said that. But he thought he said he's saying he will make news because it's a good politics for the year. But we say, oh, they're not employing Liberian, they're bringing foreigner in the country. But it's not accurate. And that's what came out thought for us to really look at. But before I conclude here, ArcelorMittal, when they started the program, the thing the president just inaugurated, they got the power plant. And these are strategic areas that are going to push the country. After this, I think my dear brother Anthony says, after this, there's going to be more implement. We have the power plant, we have the crushing machine, and have the concentrator, right? Those are three major areas that was just inaugurated by the president. He didn't mention that what the company is about to do when those things are set up, because in those, the concentrator and those things, they're going to be building different kind of a machinery and what have you, and build the network, the rail and all of things. If those things are done, it's going to create other employment that will directly go to benefit a lot of Liberians. But the number he called today, it's not that number is staggering, but it's erroneous. So I thought to provide this because we did some background investigation before ArcelorMittal. There's some independent investigation, and part of the investigation is to find out the facts about our concern myself to find out the facts about you bringing 3,000 persons to do unskillful job. No, most of those jobs are not unskillful jobs. They are technical engineering jobs that need to have certain skills to perform. And the number is not 3,000. The number there is 1,735, and those numbers are mixed. We have some foreigners there, not predominantly Indians. There are other people,
South Africans as well.
South Africans and other people that are trained in operating machines, machine-related fees in other areas, and there are different engineers, specialists that are also into those areas that they will require months and a lot of money to train Liberians. And I think after these plans are all built and finished, there are mechanisms now being put in place to train Liberians that will be fully capacitated to ensure and work in this area. So, Gamer, I thought to set the stage. So we go through this issue, and other people bring their input. Mr. Nambe is here, and the rest of that. Welcome, our dear sister, so that we move these things on. That's just what I want to say. It was grandstanding, trying to show up today. The information Josiah Joker gave the people of Liberia is not only erroneous, it's far from the reality, and we need to check some of these things and correct Liberian government officials that are trying to put the smartest people in the room and move it forward. So I rest here for now.
I had a quick question.
You're muted, Jerome.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Especially for you.
Yeah, we don't eat on this show, please.
Go ahead with your question.
Can you excuse me, Sarah? Okay.
I'm not eating.
Can you go in the back?
No, it's okay. I'm done.
Okay, great. Okay.
It's morning here. It's 8 o'clock, my friend.
Okay, so I know you're having breakfast. It's all right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
The woman already in Tuesday.
Yes, she's in Wednesday. Sarah, go ahead. Let me go to Susan. Go ahead, Sarah.
No, I just wanted to ask Pewee, what could be the motive? Because he said, this is the CSA boss, remember? He has information on most of me, I should say all of these employees, right? Is he not supposed to have information on them and their position at a certain meter? Why would he want to go over there and give a wrong information? What would be the motive?
Mr. Pewee, 1 minute, let me answer. The same reason he went and fired people who were on Facebook and saying, if you are on Facebook and you use this information, you will be fired. That's the same reason he got no credibility as far as I'm concerned. These are the folks who said, including the finance minister, that under this administration, nobody is going to go home making less than $150. Same group of folks. Go ahead, Mr. Pewee. Then we'll go
to so quickly, Sarah. So here's it. The ministry that got the statutory responsibility to handle all foreign-related employment, the Ministry of Labor.
Okay.
And the minister himself is the chief administrator of all labor activities. Now, we do have the assistant minister for trade union affairs, we have an assistant minister for labor, and we have assistant minister for statistics. This assistant minister will provide their boss, the minister, with all information properly. So that's why we want to ask this question. Where did he get his information from?
Right.
Get the number of 3,000.
Right.
I think if the cabinet is serious, that they will put him in cabinet and asking the question, the president will say to him, where did you get the information? Embarrass the government and try to push the government against the people, or the people against the government. Because many Liberians are going to sit here and be the government is insensitive.
Right.
If they were allowed 3,000 Indians to come in the country and do unskilled job that Liberian can perform, and that is far from the reality, they should invite him to get the information. But the information, he said, now, yes, he want to get some attention. He's an attention seeker, right? Yeah. So the intent is to get attention and to believe that he's working. So this is tantamount to usurpation of function.
Yeah, what happened there, Mr. Pewee? The president just had Miss Susan Bange. Whoever brought your breakfast, tell her to go away. The president just did a cabinet evaluation and mentioned all the agencies that were doing well. They didn't mention Josiah Joker. So Josiah Joker is out here trying to beat his chest that he's something that he's not. If you had a company that has a total employment of 8,000, and you're telling me in one swoop that 3,000 of those folks either snuck into the country because the labor minister said the last time they had the investigation, he said he gave out 8,000 total in the whole nation, 8,000 work permit. If 3,000 of that just went to Meta alone, it just doesn't add up. Your take on the issue. And then you can go back to the Chinese if you missed that. The Chinese men that were duped allegedly by
the director,
Mr. Ducle at the port. Hopefully you were following.
Yes, I just joined the show. It's been a while since I came here, but I've been following the discussion. You guys have already covered everything so far. I know the rescue mission, they call them Vla mission, so Vla. So I mean, I'm not surprised to be hearing them calling out figures that are not real. So I mean, I'm following the story. The story I heard was my sister Sarah said, and the rest of you guys. So I don't have much to say on it. I think you guys have said it all already. The people just came to power to lie their way, but lying your way, our people are too smart for that. You know, these things used to happen, let's say in 2002, 2003. But right now the internet is open. So once you lie, somebody will come here and correct them. So you guys have said it, or I don't have anything to say. Maybe the next topic I will add few words to it.
Okay, but I want you to show this line. I know what you are saying. If you are following the show, maybe you have seen the secret record, the videos of the weaponized police escorting the folks with their releases, their suitcases. The police is telling them to leave. I don't know whether they were deporting them or where they were taking them, but they were actually taking the suitcases of these people and pushing them, to go. I mean, what kind of society is this? We are looking for employment, looking for investors. How do we do this?
I don't think there will be investors under this government. The only thing that we have seen so far is the fact that they're just chasing people wrongly. I don't think Liberia at this moment, the face of our country, the current situation that we have in Liberia, we will ever have investors. Since Joseph Boakai came to power, the only thing this government they have done is to just chase people unnecessarily. So nothing is really strange to me, to be honest with you. And I'm surprised hearing this because I didn't see that on the internet. So I don't know which video you're talking about.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's
I've
out there.
seen
Okay,
it's out.
we're gonna send it to you. I know you got a big platform too, so you can inform, because what we're trying to do is elevate what's happening here. Because when people spend their hard-earned money, okay, we are talking about people from different nationality, from different countries. It's affecting every one of us. It is our identity. When you go out, you don't go out as Susan Mange, you go out as Liberian and all of that. So once the people find out that you are Liberian and they say, this person comes from a crooked country and all that stuff, it reflects on everybody. Welcome, Abu. Abu, I wanted to bring you on that topic, but I can't because that's your boss.
That's it, my boss.
Yeah, you can't discuss that.
Let me the comment section saying that the story is fake.
Okay.
Can somebody please send me the video? And Sarah, can you send me the video?
We'll send it to you. We just don't want you to comment on anything that has to do with the port because you work there.
He's conflicted already.
He's compromised.
Yes.
But let me comment on the elemental steel thing, right? Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, I too asked myself the question today when I saw a snippet of the CSA boss at the Liberian Senate today. I was wondering what was he doing there, giving numbers about employment in the labor sector, because he's a CSA person. He deals strictly with civil servants. This is a private company, right? There's a public-private, initiated there. It's supposed to be the Ministry of Labor, not the civil servant, boss. But Mr. Pewee, I don't know if there is also a deal for a steel mill, because I have been pounding this government why they did not, negotiate for a steel mill as opposed to an iron ore concentrator, because the concentrator is in the best interest of Elemental Steel. Mind you, it is the #1 mining corporation in the world. Elemental is not no baby company. Even though their headquarters is in a small European landlocked country called Luxembourg, something like that it's called. But
it's not in London?
No, it's in Luxembourg. Luxembourg, something. It's a landlocked European country. Luxembourg it's called, right?
Okay,
good.
Okay.
It's a landlocked country, right? A border Belgium, Germany, and all of that stuff.
So what happened to SBS now?
So this company here is very smart. They brought in the iron ore concentrator. What it does, it crushes, because iron ore is stone, right? It crushes the iron ore into pellets, small metals, right? And when they do that, the machine processes in a way that everything that they would take out of the country will be 100% iron. That's the way they used to extract it, because my dad worked for a Lamco company before, and I was shocked when I heard the president say ArcelorMittal Steel is the best corporation ever in Liberia. My people, sometimes politics not good. Lamco was the best corporation. That Swedish American company was the best. Why? Because I was born there, I saw the facility, I benefited from it. As a kid, I still remember, and those who went to school, we had the best schools, best hospitals, road pavement. That Yekepa were all paved. There was no dusty road in Yekepa. Not one single dusty road. So ArcelorMittal own corporation compound. No paved road. How can then this president say it's the best corporation ever in the history of Liberia? Now, Lamco has 3 locations in Liberia, my people. It was Yekepa, it was Buchanan, and Bond Mines. So, again, yes, I was a kid, but we didn't walk to school. We had buses that took us to school. Even on Sunday, those same buses took us to churches and brought us back home for free. All we gotta do is show up to the bus stop, the bus come and pick us up and drive us to our very location. And show up to the bus stop after church and it brought us back. From Monday to Friday, show up to that bus stop and it take you to school and brought you back. You don't have to pay. Every employee has a housing, and the housing has 24/7 electricity and running water. And also, they have a switch system that goes into the switch, and that switch was processed into fertilizer. Anybody who live in Yekepa during those days, you go to Area Q. That's where we used to go get the fertilizer from for free. Where have you coming from, President Bouaka, Your Excellency, to say ArcelorMittal Steel is the best corporation ever in the history of Liberia? We have telephones in the streets at the Lepo. Telephones. You pick up the phone and dial now to have access outside Yekepa to call anywhere. If the call was a paid call, you punch in your father last 4 digits of the batch number, they bill your dad. You go to a supermarket, you don't have money, you enter the last 4 digits of your father's batch number, they bill your dad. And my father used to get paid bi-weekly, not every month, but every 15 days. Folks, so when I heard the president said that, I was like, yeah, politics is a very bad thing.
Remember, he's 80 years old now.
So today,
probably forgot.
I wish that this government would negotiate for a steel mill. You can Google right now if iron ore concentrator versus a steel mill plant, which one is in the best interest of the host country, and just leave it like that. You will see all of the details.
Well,
but the iron ore concentrator will only benefit the host company. The article, the company, they said, not the host country.
That's correct.
But the steel mill will create 4 important areas that the Liberian citizen will benefit from. Number 1, it will add value to our raw material. It will create more jobs. It will create up to 20,000 jobs. That's point number 1. Point number 2, construction. Whether road construction or individual building houses, it will be less. It will be cheaper because steel rod will be cheaper in Liberia if it's manufactured in Liberia as opposed to when it's imported to Liberia.
Excellent.
3, it will create job opportunity and also career advancement. Liberia will advance in the industrialized service of steel mill plants. Number 4, our shipping line. We have the 2nd largest shipping registry in the world, the maritime. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not come here to preach. But when you don't understand the subject matter sometimes, then it baffles your mind and you don't know what to do. For our president to go and celebrate a concentrator that will put enough money in the pocket of ArcelorMittal Steel as opposed to creating jobs for Liberians, it is a disservice to the Liberian people. Unless they go back to that drawing board to renegotiate because they have signed a 25-year operation for $850 million, which is a chicken change.
And to your point, Anthony, I think this is the reason why I saw a lot of people praising the senator, Nyenwolo, because he's trying to stand up for his people and demanding Asalamita to do what is right for the people in that area. So I think that's one of the reasons why he wants to stand up to them, because that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do.
Now let me just throw light on the difference between the previous contract and the present contract. When the iron ore is pelletized or crushed in a concentrator, the B-Rap, because we sell it by ton, right? When they break it, just like when you go buy frozen fish in the market, they weigh it with the ice and everything on it, so it gets heavier. Eh? Then when you take it home, when you take all the ice on it, the feed gets small. That's why it is there. We were selling the iron ore whole, so we could get more money on tonnage. When it's crushed, they take all the waste. The iron ore that come out this small. So now for Liberia to benefit, we have to crush a lot of iron ore to get the tonnage that we have prior. So who does it benefit? It benefits the iron ore company. It benefits Metal Steel. Metal Steel is getting more iron now for its money as it did in the past. So this is not, they're not doing us a favor here. This is not a favor that they're doing to Liberia. That big building they build, they are taking more of our product from the country than actually they are giving back in salary and payment. But let's move to the next subject. Mr. Namwe, are you close on this, or we'll go to the next one?
Well, thank you very much. For a moment there, I thought I was forgotten, but it's good to be here.
Oh, you will never be forgotten.
Let me welcome Mr. Gay. Even though he met me here, he must have gone 5 times, and I'm still waiting for him. But
that's a squeaky wheel thing. The guy who makes the most noise, you call him slow. That's why you're too quiet.
Right. Susan and Sarah, welcome too. Look, I don't know much about the crusher and the concentrator and all of that, so I'm not going to go there. But I'd like to talk a little bit about what Sylvester spoke about, the CSA director. He's quite an interesting act to follow. There are sometimes he really comes out and he gets it right. But I think there are many times when he comes out as comes across as being overzealous. And during those times, sometimes he really misses the mark, like really, really bigly, like they say. We remember him urging the city corporation, city hall, to fire people, something that is completely outside of his purview. And what Sylvester said here, I had to get up and listen to the Liberal minister, 30 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. He himself is expressing, consternation with the fact that this guy is getting out of the lane, and he's actually usurping, like Sylvester rightly said. He is going in territory that he's not supposed to be traveling in. I'm not sure if his motivation is not because he wasn't recognized recently. I think the president recognized 13 best performing entities since the performance management and compliance system was launched. I think back in October. I think the president has finally given out his first award, and I'm not sure if the CSA was in there. But somebody needs to tell him he can do his job, do it well, without doing. He's doing too much. He's doing too much, and almost pretty much doing nothing. And like I said, I will praise him. I have done so on occasions when I think he's done well, but I think too many times, he's doing too much. And I think what he did today doesn't play well. It's bad optics for the government. Maybe he doesn't get that. How can you, in a country with such high unemployment, come on radio and declare? And as Sylvester is saying, I don't have the stats on this, but obviously there has to be some errors in these stats that he's giving. How can you come and declare where people are hungry, the jobless and all of that? You declare 3,000 foreign nationals are coming into the country doing jobs that Liberians are capable of doing. It makes the government look bad. So somebody needs to call him aside and talk to him. He needs to take it easy. Maybe he needs a sounding board. Guess outside his echo chamber at the commission, and go somewhere else and talk to other people and let them give him some advice. You know, sometimes, like I said, I will praise him, but I think on this one, I'm confused. You know, I was scratching my head what his intent really was. I don't understand it. But I will pass it back to you. I'm here. Don't forget. You know, I know I'm sitting quietly, but it's
That's
good to be
good.
with you guys.
Okay, Honorable Pewee, you have second topic you want to introduce before we go?
Can I just ask a quick question, please,
Yes,
guys?
please, go ahead.
What is the real reason why our leaders always bringing, people out of the country to do the Liberian people job? Is it what really is the reason? Because I mean, our country, they have a lot of smart people, young men and women. What is it? They don't have faith in us. They don't see purpose in our youth lives. What really is the reason why this has been going on like nonstop?
Now be clear now. Who are you talking about? Because Joseph Boakai, Ellen, they brought most of the people from abroad, from the diaspora too. So are you talking to the Liberian government? Are you talking
No,
to
I meant the companies, the Chinese companies that we're talking about here, the Chinese coming to Liberia doing the Liberian people job that Liberians obviously are able to do. Obviously this whole yellow machine nonsense that they're going for, they will definitely bring somebody again. Not people in. I'm not referring to Liberian in the United States or Liberian in Australia. I'm saying foreigners are coming into our country and just doing the Liberian people jobs. I've never seen this, you know. Um, and it all boils down to Mandela Cooper bringing her husband down again, taking the Liberian people job. What really is the reason why this has been like a pattern?
Well, let me give a crack at this. I know.
Well, it's not all the job that Liberian can do also. So when the company is coming in, they have jobs that Liberian cannot do because we have these high skilled jobs also. And the labor, and these are all labor related issue we discuss here. And that's why we have the Ministry of Labor that should give work permit. People don't just come to the country and move. They don't just parachute people in the country, if you will. No, they don't just put in and say, hey, come and drop in and work. No. We do have partisan procedure, right? So part of this is hey, they are setting job that we have some high skill job where you need some very, very, very much professional folks that are trained into particular engineering areas or other areas of related work that they will have to bring people if Liberians cannot perform those jobs. But and that's why we have again the Ministry of Labor should be the gatekeeper. The job, if they came in a country, XYZ company is establishing a company, let's say a steel company from Australia is coming to Liberia to get involved in mining. And you went to the Ministry of Labor, say we are bringing in let's say, for instance, HR manager. The Ministry of Labor, in my thinking, should not grant that permit. We have potential HR manager in Liberia. But they are bringing certain people that are skilled in certain engineering area that you don't have in the country. The Ministry of Labor will oblige. They will, of course, give that permit. And that's why you have the Ministry of Labor. Those companies don't just bring those people on their own volition. No. But you say you have people in government, like Mr. Nami just said, that they themselves are so obsessed with making news and not understanding that the news they are about to pretend to push is going to harm their own government, right? To even announce that they're bringing 3,000 where there's no 3,000 is troubling. But yeah, you always have Liberians in every country, even in Ghana, you have those big companies you have that will bring expatriate out. But they fix the law in the way and manner that those unskilled jobs will have to be done by the locals. And that's it, Susan. This unskilled work, where people they believe, and then eventually, as time unfolds, part of the policy is to also work with the local to train some of them to build their capacity to get some of those jobs done. And that's this. And for instance, all of those things that have been the concentrator, the that, it's been built. These are not permanent employment. It's being meant. That's why they brought those. Now, Liberia will not build the concentrator. Liberia will not build the crushing machine. Liberia will not build the railroad. No Liberian won't. And you see, we don't want to be honest, and that's part of the. Listen, we so we have to desist from this kind of a tendency, and push to realistic labor-related issue. If you go to sit down and start teaching us labor economics, telling us, because it is important that when people are skilled in certain professional areas, they will have to come and perform in those areas to ensure that the sector will boom. So you expect to bring non-technician to build rail for us? They will force us stick together.
Susan, I got a list here that came from Natano BCG from Metal Steel, and look at some of the professionals looking for. They're looking for seismologists.
We don't have it.
They are looking for a hydraulic engineer.
We don't. How about that we have?
They're looking for geologists.
We have a couple of them.
Some of these people, they are talking about 10, 15-year international experience. I don't think we have those kinds of stuff because the profession do change. It's a different thing to have a degree in this 10 years ago. Now everything has been modernized, digitized. Everything has been digitized. You can't do some of the things you did. So yes, I got a list here, and the reason he sent it to me because I'm from Grand Bassa, so he said, if you got Bassa people over there, send them to us. And I'm looking at the list. I can't pronounce some of these things, So I said,
try to pronounce most of them.
Yeah, I call you. I said, which one is seismologist? He said when they do the blast, okay, so it doesn't cause earthquake. So seismic equation, that's what they do to make sure that when they are doing the blasting, that it does not cause earthquake or how far.
But Jerome, quickly, like Sylvester said, right?
Yeah, they usually hydraulic machines over there, man.
When those companies come and we don't have the expertise, there are benchmarks in the MDAs that they're supposed to train people. This is what Senator Twanya and other people were talking about. A Salamita is supposed to provide $200,000 every year for scholarship to train people who will come back and eventually be able to do those specialized jobs for which expatriates are being brought into the country. But they're not even doing that. They're not hiring the Liberians they're supposed to hire. And this is just to address the question that Susan asked. Most of the problem we're having is because we're not following, the law. That is our major problem. Those things are laid down, but we never follow through.
Absolutely, Mr. Nangwe. If I may, Mr. Gaiman, 30 seconds, please. So in exchange for these things, she asked a brilliant question. Instead of the Liberian government, if the Liberian government were to get, let's say, $5 million a year, right, on the whole operation, the Liberian government can subsidize some of that $5 million in exchange for employee training.
Right.
So within 24 months to 36 months, these guys can acquire the necessary skill set. So within 5 to 7 years,
let me ask you a question. Can you train
these roles?
Can you train a seismologist, as the man said, for 36 months?
Look, let me just say this to you.
Hydraulic engineer.
Hold on. You're talking to a guy who worked in the industrial field. Mm-hmm. My background, I am a infrastructure data engineer.
Can you train a hydraulic engineer for 36 months?
A larger skill, right? So that in Liberia, when it rains, you can talk on phone. In America, it can snow, ice, and we still talk on phone. You know why? Because we had a proper network layout.
It's not an issue. When I was talking
about,
we still have some area here. We still have some area here when it rains, when it's on it, the phone can be difficult.
Hold on now. Don't even try to compare Liberia network breakdown with American network.
I'm asking you the question.
It is possible. That's what I'm telling you. It is possible.
Can you train a hydraulic engineer for 36 months or 2 months?
Hydraulic engineer, you will not be an engineer, but you'll be a good operator who understands the work.
Okay, go ahead.
Pewee, hold on here.
I'm done.
Pewee, hold on.
Mr. Name, you see, I didn't know you. I say you're not the engineer.
No, but hold on. When I,
but he would be an engineer.
What did I say? I said,
he would be an engineer.
Hold on.
Just hold on.
Yeah, I'm holding on.
We're not going to hijack the conversation. When I spoke, I said, you can migrate these people gradually, gradual process. The Liberian government need to set do an arrangement where they will train guys anywhere from 2 years to 5 years. In a 7 year, these ministers assuming major roles.
Now you see, and I push you now. You saying the thing I wanted to hear from you. You see,
but that's what I said.
When you first, I come
go play the tape. That's what I said first.
I come in 1 minute. No.
The
tape you said. You said 36. You said 36 months. That's why I came in. And I come in. I like what you just said. When I
you heard 36 months run, I said within 36 months you will have these guys taking on certain roles. That's what I said.
When I eventually push you, I said you can be during the year. You said no, it can be, but now be an engineer. I said
first of all,
I agree with you.
Pewee, there is no way you train somebody doing the same job over and over for 3 years and they're not picking up.
Listen, here's what I would say. I agree that the company of the government should put in place a policy part of the MDA that Liberian citizens should be trained in this area. But again, come on. You cannot train a man that didn't graduate high school to go be a hydraulic engineer. No, it's not possible.
Listen here, Pewee.
You cannot, so you have
to. You have operated in Liberia for 20 years. As we speak, they are operated in Liberia for 20 years.
What the Liberian government can do?
No, hold on.
That's why we've been pushing.
Is ArcelorMittal being in Liberia for 20 years now? Has they?
They're about 2005, so not 20 years.
Yes, 20 years, 2005 to
20 years this year.
20 years.
20 years this year. Yeah, 20
years
this year.
So within that 20 years period, if the Liberian government were putting mechanism, don't you think we would have met that goal?
But do you also know, and let me say this, do you also know that most of these people I have just mentioned, they are Liberians that have been trained by ArcelorMittal? Listen, the company is 100%.
After 20 years, we don't have a Liberian who is a COO. We don't have a Liberian who is a CFO at the company after 20 years.
No, you cannot have Liberian that will be a CF. I don't think you have Liberian that will be, but you have Liberian that will be deputy CFO. You have.
Do we have any of them now after 20 years?
You have the Librians that will operate within the HR high-ranking area. Now, listen, in the DMA.
Thank you, Siapa Dix. We have VTC in Yekepa and Buchanan. Thank you.
Listen, the company itself withdraw, and that's why the company is not coming holistically on their own to draw policy. And that's why there's an agreement that will rectify by the Honorable House of the Legislature in our country. And part of that is to go through the structural process as to what the corporate social responsibility of the company versus what the government will ensure that will be done. And that's why there's a social corporate responsibility. The company is paying to these counties, Grand Bassa, Bon County, because Bon County is the county that is also the means by which the old are being transported via from Niba to Bon County to the designated point, the port of Buchanan.
We'll get that point.
The pit of so that's one. The government, the company is giving some money to that of those counties. What? To make sure there are other infrastructure upkeep and other social services done to those counties. Another part of that is the building of capacities of these employees. And I say this to you, those that are in the technical field, those that are there, they've been pushing that, are moving those machines and other things, they've been training them, sending them for training and other things, building their capacities. But now to train someone to do hydraulic. So what I would say for me, I would now call, if on the company and the government should start pumping some money in the engineering department of the University of Liberia.
That's correct.
Pump good money in the engineering department. Ensure you have the best professor. If you train those students from year one freshman to graduate the first degree in engineering, then the company will now take most of those, will send them for further capacity building to specialize. Now there will be, what do you call the other for what you use?
Seismologist.
Seismologist.
That's a new technology.
There will be, somebody else
like
we have most of our brothers, like for instance, the current assistant minister of for regional extension also, but otherwise will be. He's a geologist. He graduated from the University of Liberia as a geologist. Now, is the government prepared now to send such a smart man to go and specialize into different fields?
So what we have done in the past few weeks,
That's what the company will do, and they've been building Liberian capacity. But unfortunately, this CSA bus was hell bent on making news of erroneously misinterpreting the numbers that we have in the country. And
no, that part we have already established that. We have established that part.
Pewee, I was at the Stella Marie's graduation, and we had several young folks that graduated with electrical engineering degree, all the degrees in those areas. I went back again in February. Most of those kids are teaching. I said, why you not metal? They say we need letter of recommendation for politicians. Can you imagine a person who have worked? A person who have worked very hard to get 6 years to get a degree. They're wasting because they are not well connected. When they go out there, Stella Marie send them, they all send their resume. Nobody will call them.
It should not be about any politician recommended, but if the politician was to recommend, the politician would take the incompetent one.
That's correct.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
The company should do the same here in the US. I can recall when I came to school here, saying like, bro, when I came to school here, before graduation, we have folks coming on our university campus. And that's how you see people.
Yeah,
and that's how people will transition. Certain students will transition from that line to go to OPT. OPT is their own job training process after you are on your student visa and you're trying to transition from there to go do other training. And that's why you see you have the best man in these countries. You have people from all over the world. So if we can introduce the same to ensure that, look at our 2 universities we have in the country that are providing, I stand to be corrected, they are providing degrees in those engineering fields. The traditional university, our own state-owned university, University of Liberia, my own school that I graduated from, and that of the what they call the school my brother just called Stella Marie Polytechnic. Yeah, Stella Marie Polytechnic. And I give credit to this woman. I know she said the president there, Sister Mary Lorraine Brown. Right? Very strong administrator, fearless administrator. Right, that instilled a lot of discipline in those students. She had to restrict them as to what they will wear. She believed that they should not protrude their front part that way, wearing things and all of things. She was very restrictive on them dressing in a most seductive way. She tried to put out to those things, right, and brought some discipline to bear. So we have the University of Liberia Engineering Department also that are training engineering students. How are we putting money there, Governor Liberia? And I think sometimes the government will set line with even our bilateral partners, the Chinese. They will go to some of the Chinese universities, specialize in the area. So, my sister, it will start doing that thing, Susan. It will start doing those things. And then we have the competent people. We will work hard to ensure that our young brothers and sisters in Congress will get the job to be done. It's good.
But
they will bear our roles.
Why can't we flip that idea around? Why can't we take that scholarship where people go outside the country to train, bring in the expert to train our people in the country? Why can't we do that? Why we always sending the students?
Give me your man, Professor Lumumba, right? The message with the train engineer in Tanzania, but they bring Chinese engineer to bear their rules. The message, what an irony. You teach an engineer in your university, but you bring Chinese engineer to bear rules.
That's correct. Susan,
that's the irony.
Susan, it says here today, it said President Boyka has reiterated his government commitment to promoting development and improving the livelihood of every Liberian. He not say again, this is what President Boyka is saying. I don't know whether somebody write these things and he reads them, but this is what President Boyka is saying. If you were talking to the president or the administration, what would you say? What would be your first question? The president said he's committed to promoting development and improving the livelihood of the people. What would you ask the president in your capacity as a lay person like us?
Well, in my capacity, I will ask him how, because a lot of folks have been quiet on this government based on the time frame since they came to power. You know, Liberian people and the government just knew. You gave them time. So my question would be how, because there were a lot of promises made to the Liberian people from this government, and it has been almost 2 years now. We have not seen anything. So the question would be how, because right now once you call in Liberia and you speak to, I'm not talking about seditions here, just common people, members of Liberians that are not capable of, the day-to-day lives where they have jobs. People are complaining. The price of rice are up. The economy is very bad at the moment. So my question to Boaka would be how? Because I mean we're tired with the empty talks. It's just been going on for way too long. That would be my question. How and what is his intention of improving the lives of our people?
Mr. Nambe, we are asking, I don't know whether the handlers, but whoever write these things, why would someone write something so open-ended? That the president can just come and say, I'm committed to promoting the development and improvement of the lives of the Liberian people, of the ordinary Liberian people. That was the heading of his speech.
Yeah, that's a question I have no answer to, but as you know, all of us on set here have asked the question as to the handlers. Who really does this person listen to? Who are his close advisors? First of all, he doesn't talk to the press. I don't think he's done a press conference. Save the few questions that he feels when he comes return to the country from a trip or something like that. And so, should we say they're probably rusty because there's not much practice? I don't know. Yeah, but that is a question. If I were in the president's cabinet kitchen, and that's not an answer I would give the president to give to a question like that. Like you say, it's too broad. It's too general. It's very honest. It's an answer which is really a non-answer. I'm sorry, but I will pass it back. I don't have anything to say. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody who's advising the president, but it just seems to me much care is not being taken to package this president. As we all know, he's he's old school, if I should put it that way. And so, those of you, the young people, Anthony and the rest of them, you have to make sure you keep it in touch.
Anthony doesn't know when you were born, so you don't know whether he's old or young. Go ahead.
You have to. All right, Anthony, just let us. You have to keep in touch with the non-generation. So I'll leave it there.
Okay. Well, from your answer, I won't even go to Honorable Pewee and everybody else because it's a non-starter. But let's go with the question here because.
Can I just say something? Based on what my brother just said. You said you don't know who is advising the president. The president does not appear frequently on the media, but according to what I heard when I woke up today, he said the media is garbage. That was his statement today. That he does not listen to anything on the media because it's garbage.
Did he say that actually? Did you hear that or you?
It was they say, and I really want.
You got a bigger platform.
We can't do the old man like that.
I woke up to it. I saw
posts.
We don't want to do that.
We'll try to fact check our own, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah, honestly, but
okay, so we're
fact checking that. What alleged them?
Yes,
Susan alleged, so I can go to Mr.
Allegedly, but I trust my sister Sarah. If she came across that, she would have just said something. But I saw a post that he said that he does not listen. The media is garbage. So that I don't know, but I'm not going to say anything until we confirm if he actually said that.
Yeah,
so
please, I would really because the last time they showed, I also might just send me something. The last time they showed, they said someone said the last time Susan said that the chief former zoo of our country passed, right? And we found out that was also misleading and other things. So they said I should tell you to take time how you come out with the information, small. So from there, you know, yeah. But actually, that thing is just they say. I don't think the president said that. I'm not speaking for him, but I don't think the president can say that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The last time I listened to him when he came from abroad, and someone asked him about what was happening on social media, and he said he doesn't listen. He doesn't watch social media. That I listened to, but he didn't say. I never heard the word garbage. But Honorable Nambe, the administration here is trying for us to discuss this particular topic here. In 2026, next year, Firestone is going to be actually celebrating a milestone of 100 years in Liberia, right? Do we have reason to produce or to be proud of Firestone? Can we say Firestone have been a blessing to Liberia?
You know, I'm not going to be what's the word I'm looking for? The Firestone has helped. They have provided livelihood to a lot of people. I am a beneficiary of the Firestone school system in hospital camp, central site in Peabody. My auntie, my auntie uncle worked for Firestone, and also my brother-in-law worked for Firestone. So yeah, I benefited from the Firestone scholarship, and also their community community service to the people. Now is the services they are provided, and they have schools, they have hospitals, they have a whole range of services to provide to the community. Now the question is, are these services comparable to what should have been provided, or what other corporations in their standing provides to other countries? Then the contrast there will reveal, as to whether we should be proud or not. And in terms of pride or not, I would think there's not much to be proud of. They have provided a service, but they have gained a lot more than they've given back. I mean, the kind of houses, huts that they built for our people to dwell in. I live in one of those. My sister's husband, he was working with a hospital and orderly. Not my sister, but my aunt. So I lived there. Then my sister's husband was a manager. They have these bungalows, and so there's a stark difference. So I've experienced both ends of it. And then the majority of the workforce, the tappers, those people, they really, they are the people. So I've experienced both ends of it.
Hey, somebody, please.
So so I don't want to be too long-winded, but as to being proud of what they provided, no, I don't think there's not much pride. Should we I don't want to say grateful. Should we acknowledge that they did come in and they did provide? So yes, they did, especially in some of the places where there was little to nothing. They did come in, but I think over the years they failed to scale up and keep up with improved standard of living, and also making sure we are on par, with international standard. I think they failed on that front. Up to now, people are still living in those huts. Some of those huts is a single dwelling place. The family, the husband, the wife, the children, they all share the same open space. There's no privacy. Some of these huts, no ceiling. One door in. No back door. And those are dwellings that are suitable for animals, not humans. So I think there is a lot that could be done. But coming up to 100 years, really, I think there's much to be desired. I'll leave it there.
Great. Let me make a quick public service announcement. The CEO of NUCAR, Honorable Fabian Michael Lai, will be here on Friday, 5 p.m. No, 9 p.m. Liberian time. Is that what, 5 p.m. here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this coming Friday, now Friday, June the 20th, the time is 9 p.m. Liberian time, USA Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. The CEO of NOCAL is going to be here. He's going to be our guest. There have been a lot talked about NOCAL. We're going to talk about NOCAL. There's a lot going on there. Where they're getting their money from, how they're getting their money. There's a lot of money going into that agency. We will talk about it. We'll talk about it suspended. I think CEO of, her name, what the lady's name that was suspended there?
Swakoko Dennis.
The General Swakoko was suspended there.
He's not a general.
No, the name Swakoko you got to follow the history of the name. So
the traditional pet,
traditional pet warrior, the general. Swakoko, she was suspended for corruption. We discussed that. So yes, the chairman, the CEO of not the chairman, but the CEO of the NOCAL, they call him Acting National Oil Company of Liberia, NOCAL chairperson. The CEO is going to be here on Friday. Don't miss it.
We look forward to having him.
Let me just close on quick. I'm wrong. Yeah, on the Firestone issue, let me say, are we to celebrate something? Honestly, yes, we are. We should celebrate something. 100 years next year. There's been a lot of improvement. But let me ask Mr. Sanvee, I don't know if he did follow what Madam Sirleaf, those whom you talk about, President Sirleaf went to Firestone. She was
hot.
Rage.
She was hot.
And she told them, and those who are no longer there, they changed them. Ellen told them, she was very mad at this. She said, you telling people still living in the condition? So they went to that agreement. The king has some serious discussion here, and Firestone agreed to. They started doing that for years now. So we don't have none of those home again. They all out of the even for the ordinary contractors of those people, they have a 2-bedroom. Now it's a 2-bedroom and the bathroom now, of front and back porch. Okay. Like where you have the whole family just bundled up in one area. So Ellen visited the place. She was really mad at it. You could see her. She said, I cannot be president of this country and people still living on that kind of condition. Yeah. It was very mad. Yes. And that went to it and all of that. One of the things I would think, and you're right, honestly, something you said, and they are parting, they should be the number 2 biggest taxpayer to the government of Liberia as well. Yeah, we have Firestone paying her taxes to the government of Liberia. I think they should be number 2 in terms of taxes. ArcelorMittal should be number 1. Between there and ArcelorMittal, yeah, and they've been very, very regular in paying taxes to the Liberian government and the rest of that. What we could push them to do is to probably do more in the corporate social responsibility and build a lot of other infrastructure, right? The Dusa Hospital.
And the roads.
Is it a Dusa Hospital? Yeah, it's a Dusa Hospital. They got a Dusa Hospital and they got a clinic also in Firestone itself. Out of many hospitals. They should do more about that and try to connect the roads. They try to do most of the roads moving into the rural plantation and the rest of it.
They do have a big hospital in Peabody too.
Okay, very well.
Do they have a high school?
Oh yeah, they have a high school in Firestone itself. Got a junior high, mention in the high school in Firestone. And part of the record for the past years, I don't know if it's still going on, they are student tap wired for consistent almost 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah, all coming on record in terms of tapping the Firestone school system. But one of the things I really wanted to do quickly before I end here, I want to see Firestone push to start doing some finished product.
Yeah.
Now, can Firestone open a plant in Liberia where they will manufacture tires, for instance?
That's right.
They don't have to bring these things in there. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. Can Firestone do that?
They can do
because
it.
There was this plan that someone was trying to do an action, what we call the action lawsuit against Firestone, the kind of way they treated Liberia. And have they improved the working government? I'm saying push them to do that. Now, past government, I don't know if past government actually did that. I would encourage the president to tour the plantation to see if the tapas working environment, the ambient have improved. We'd love to see that also because the normal way they will carry the lettuce
on
the shoulder, you have 2 buckets and moving this way and other thing, and the distance where they had the lettuce dumping site. For instance, if one Firestone employee is to tap 500 trees in the area, 500. right? If you tap in the 500 tree, he's walking almost 2 miles to dump the litters. That was unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And we hope that those conditions have improved because President Sani pushed them to do more.
And
so that would be
because I won't forget, OHED. But the point you're making is that has also compelled most of those liberals to pull their children out of school to help them.
Exactly.
You have to cover a certain amount of trees, or you get fired. So you can go and get your help from anyone.
Imagine I did. Anthony, when I did an investigation that time, I wanted to play. I would talk to the old man. I talked to the other guy. He told me that he'll do it, and I'll walk with him. Some point I want to try to help him. 500 trees he's going to tap a day, and the next day he's coming back to tap 5, and he's being paid $150 and given 2 Becker rice.
Yeah.
This Pusaba, how do you call it?
Thank God for rice in Pele.
Pusaba. Yeah, Pusaba. I wanted to give it for
and Papa rice.
They will now call it. That need that what happened to that? It's Pele Pusaba.
So Pewee. At the other end of it, right?
I gotta go to the ladies now. You hurry up.
Yeah, let the ladies go because
all right, give it up to the ladies.
I'll be right back. I did that job.
Sarah, let's go.
In my spirit.
Yeah, I think they need to do more. They need to really, really do more. From what I'm hearing, our people deserve better. We're not in the cutting stone age or slavery age anymore, where people will be treated like walking all those miles with stuff on your shoulder and all of that. I think our president needs, like somebody said, our president needs to tour that place. When our contract comes to an end, our president needs to tour that place and interview the citizens there, find out what are their challenges are, what they need, what are some of the needs are, and that the company is not, meeting up to, so that he can have a better handle of what's going on and be able to make a sound decision, or maybe when they go into another country, and I hope the contract won't be another 100 years. I hope not. Things can change. Like you can't sit and do contract like that for all the many years. No, it shouldn't be that way. I mean, it shouldn't be that length of time, in my opinion. So I hope the president can, because it's definitely going to be doing his, time, his leadership. So he needs to probably go over there or send some sound-minded people over there to evaluate the area, talk to the people there that are living, that are going through all of these hardship. Make sure, let them express their concerns. And so when they go into another deal, they will know exactly what to push for on behalf of our people over there. So definitely, those conditions are not okay at this point. This is the 21st century. Thank you.
Susan, have Firestone done well, and can we say we are proud of what they have done in Liberia for 100 years?
I'm just enjoying it for
100 years. 100 years. I think they need to do more, like my sister just said. I'm glad that the Ellen took the stand to blast at them previously, and we need this current government to go in and do some evaluation, like she said. So, we can't have people taking and not giving more. The country has been like that for way too long. So, like my sister just said, they need to do more. I cannot sit here and applaud them and say, oh, they have done this. The Liberian people deserve more, and they need to give more if we have to renew that contract. And it shouldn't take 100 years again. We shouldn't even be having that type of contract. 100 years, 50 years, for what exactly? That ancestor contract? Who gave that type of contract to people? 100 years. The time frame should be about 10 years. 10 years is enough. Maybe 20, but not 100 years. That is crazy. But I think they need to do more.
Great. Mr. Anthony Gay, you got 2 minutes here. Have they done much? Can you list some of the good things they have done? And can you say you are proud? Because lately I saw in one of the human rights report that they have gone back to child labor, that people were taking their children out of school and making them work, or after school they would run and go to work, and they're doing some terrible work.
You know, my dad left Grand Judah and went to Nimba County, and he was assigned in Kokopa or Firestone. And his experience there was horrible. That's how he left and went to Yekepa and started working for the Lamco company as a first truck driver, and then became a Euclid operator and became foreman and started operating almost every yellow machine that was out there. But Firestone have enslaved our people from the day they got to Liberia. People brushed thousands of acres of land, hard labor for free. They worked for free for many years before they started giving them stipend with it. 10 cup of rice and 1 bag of rice and all other things, and they honor paid them. One of the worst corporations in the history of Liberia is Firestone.
Oh, wow.
Look, my dad is not an educated man. He's still alive. He's 95 today. God bless his soul.
He's how much?
95.
95.
So you
95.
You might be 71.
No. but Mr. Gibbon, in all fairness, when we used to leave Yekepa and go to Kokopa to visit people who are living in Kokopa and see their living conditions and see the bathroom, the well, the places they get water from, I used to tell my dad, why you always bring me here? He said, my older brother here, his senior brother was a...
Well, Kokopa, I cut you off. Susan, I know you just woke up. Your closing, so we can go.
My closing. Thank you guys for
And
having me.
Come back.
Yes, no, definitely I will come back. I took a break because I was a bit upset with
Somebody call my phone. That's why.
1 minute. 1 minute. She's closing.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my closing here is that I took a break.
No problem. Go
I
ahead.
took a break, but I'm back. I'm officially back. And it was nice being here. And to the closing argument family, you guys will see me here often. It's great to be here, and to our followers and our listeners, it's great to have you guys here. Please continue to share the show because we want this platform to go as far as we want it to go. And that's it. Thank you guys for having me. I'm still here till the rest of our panelists do their closing.
Thank you very much. Sarah.
Yeah, great show as always. We'll come here and, put our little ideas and thoughts together in order to help our country. That is our home. That's where we were born. Our nation is buried there. We want the best for our people, no matter what the government is, who's head of the government. We want the best for our people. So if something is not right, we'll say it. If it is right, we'll applaud them and stuff like that. So it was a great show, and I will look forward to seeing the MPA director, come out, put a clarification on, or come out somewhere to clarify his name in this case, because this is very devastating for our country. It doesn't look good on our country in terms of investment. That alone can drive away people from coming here. So if at all this is true, then he needs to, come clean and make the Liberian people know what the facts are. But at the end of the day, we always say a man is not guilty until while he's proven guilty in the court of law. So at this point, it's all allegations. So he needs to come out. Thank you so much. Thanks to our followers. I enjoyed the show again, and we'll be here again tomorrow to do more. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, we need more ladies. It would behoove us. We'll be happy to have 2 ladies. And we got capable women out there who can do this job. We need to have more input from the ladies. I would be glad to have 2 ladies with me every day.
Sure.
If I get 1 more, that would be nice. So, Susan, I'll take your word for it. You will be here as often as you can. I know it's early in the morning over there. Have your breakfast. Then come on, drink a whole cup of coffee.
See my breast still here.
I see that you
Now,
got
only was
The
very
woman breast are
strong.
getting cold.
I know she was warming in the microwave.
Yeah, so Anthony can make it quick so she can go to her
No, let me
breakfast.
make it quick. Yeah, so Firestone, look, when people think that Firestone are done all well, for me, I found out our leaders. I thought when Ellen was making that case that day, I watched that thing and I was so impressed. I was like, yes, somebody is really standing up for Liberia. But guess what? They did not advocate for a factory. Do you know how much a piece of tire costs?
I know.
Bridgestone, Firestone owned a company called Bridgestone in the United States. Anytime you see the tire that get Bridgestone on it, like your rubber from Liberia. Your rubber from Liberia. That tire costs $195 a piece. One piece of tire is one of the best quality on the market. Bridgestone. Another good tire that Bridgestone made with the in partnership with Toyota called Yokohama. Look at the price, $225 for one piece. Liberia rubber. It is our rubber. These guys going with our two hands like they miles upon miles and getting paid $125 a month. And one piece of tire costing $225 from Yokohama and Bridgestone $120. Guys, what are our people doing? That's why I found our legislature in the national government. They are your worst enemy. They created the mayhem that you're going through today. They get peanuts, pocket change, and cut it money. They pocket it and they forget about you. They are wicked. They are heartless. And this is the reason why tomorrow, Mr. Gateman, we need to talk about the story about babies that are dying at JFK. We need to talk about it. Generator go off, people losing their life, and these guys on and they are on the class reloaded talking about how good they're doing in the government. They all have backup generator when JFK has no backup generator.
Amen.
We will bring up the story that touched the everyday Liberian.
That's
Look, I don't come here to entertain you. I come here to chastise this government to do what you deserve for you to have an opportunity.
Yep.
Thank you.
This is not about partisanship. This is about Liberian first. And that's the reason why we need to talk about this thing. Thanks for having me, Mr. Gaiman.
Yes, we are hearing, it's alleged, we are checking that the power went off in JFK and 7 babies in the incubator died.
Oh my
We're checking
God.
out to verify. Mr. Nyenwolo, you're closing.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a downer. I mean, I'm feeling really bad already. Yeah, that's sad. But listen, I know Susan has to go to her, breakfast. Anthony already touched on the Firestone thing. For 100 years, as of now, you would think that there might even be a way to link up 500 rubber trees so that other electors would drill through some kind of hose and filter into something instead of people still carrying that thing on their head. I'm sure it can be done where you can link up all the rubber tree, you tap your litter and it drains down, and some kind of rubber hose or whatever, they collect the litters and deposit it. So something can be done. For over 100 years, the same thing they've been doing since 100 years, they have to do better, But I hope our policymakers are looking at that. I wanted to quickly go on to the yellow machines. You guys talked on that before I came in. And I just wanted to say that it is surprising that this government has not made a connection between their inability to attract investors into the country, because I know they are hungry for a success story. That's why everybody is falling over. The yellow machine, they're in a hurry to declare success and all of that when they know they don't have a contract in hand. The vice president made a pronouncement even before going to inspect the factory. We is really like reverse engineering the whole thing. It's obviously they're in a hurry. But if they don't get it yet, their inability to bring investors so that they can collect taxes and increase revenue is what we are talking about today, involving the managing director at the port and this investor. When you do that kind of thing, bad news spread very quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So when you do that, and look, the Chinese, most of these people, they are cooperative. It may be one man whose name we're calling, but maybe the 20 people got together and raised this $2.something billion. It's just a represent. So that news is spreading far and wide. So they have to be very careful. You know, I think they keep shooting themselves in the legs. I'm not even going to talk about the civil service director again shooting himself, shooting the government in the leg. You know, but it has been a great show. Thank you for the opportunity. Every time I come here, you know, I go home with something new. I learn a lot from you guys. It's great being with you. Thanks to the audience as well.
And where will you be Friday this weekend, Mr. Namwe?
You know, Anthony, you know, you were announcing Friday show, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this man knows he and I will be in Minnesota anyway. The CMC will the CMC will be having our first installation and introduction of the party into the
continental. But the CMC people can invite other people now.
No, we are inviting
all of y'all to come.
Yeah. So, but Jerome, yes, we will be in Minnesota.
Okay. Oh, Brother Pewee will be there too.
I'm sorry.
I said, Brother Pewee will be there too.
Everybody invited. The whole world is
right
invited.
now. Pewee, Mr. Nambe, Mr. Gilman, these are the CMC executives in here, the top officials. They try to recruit me so far. Every day, Mr. Gilman be in my inbox for 2 people.
Mr. Nambe, now you see I'm an equal right. I'm a really right.
So, anyway, after the show, Jerome, call me after the show, yeah?
But Mr. Nambe, we are in the same camp. How you get left on the down, Mr. Nambe? I can't understand people.
I'll be honest with you quickly. Look, I said it. This going election, I believe Alex Cummings provided the best option. Our people choose, you know, different. And I have been on the team for over 40 years. I am looking for a vessel that will help me make an impact on our people. I think Alex would have done that. For some reason,
you're looking for that championship. You've been waiting for that championship for 40 years. That's true.
Listen,
but we're coming by 2029, so we'll talk later. We'll talk.
If Musa Benedict go to everywhere in Nimba and build roads,
yeah,
that's good.
Musa Benedict already with you. Oh, yeah, he can't back to a district.
I think that's a winning formula right there.
Go to all the districts and build road and bridges. That's good for Liberia. That's good for
Liberia.
No politician.
But guess what he did? He already brought back a machine. He already brought a machine and back.
Why you leave it in your hometown cocoa pot? You want you to leave it in cocoa pot? No, we're taking it back home. When you run it, we take it, you bring it back. You clean it, you bring it back. We can't leave it in cocoa pot. Mr. Pewee, I know you.
But guys,
you're going to a concert.
My break is over. I gotta go.
You show your sexy chest.
Anthony.
The diplomat showing his sexy chest and all that. Go ahead.
He wasn't doing all of that when he literally went on his show.
No. Pewee showing all his muscle. Big guns, all that.
I mean, you are listening to you. You're talking a different thing over there.
The man listening. Yes, the man saying
muscle.
I like how
you think we on the explosive angle. We got muscle. Pewee showing that muscle, boy.
I like how you try to spice it up. But
I think Pewee was feeling hot in our coat, so he had to take it out.
I came to get my daughter for dance class, so I just packed. Oh, yeah, not too far. But actually, I just I was part of the show. I couldn't leave it unceremoniously.
Sure.
What I have to join the show back so that I can just close up in respect of the rest of the panelists. But again, actually, we do agree that the country is the challenge, and we will have to do everything. The 100th anniversary is coming for Firestone. Lots will have to be done. And Mr. Nambe last point, and that's what I say. But if you move on most of the time, for instance, pass on most of the corn farm you have here. They have kind of a machine now that they can pump water that would just water almost hundreds of acres or thousands of acres of farmland. Right, so technology is fast improving, and I believe they can help those guys to. We have some of those mini tractors that can move about. Can you look at a mini tractor that will have a space of those bucket lifters sort of thing?
I'll have a tank. Yeah.
That will move at the top. They see move at top and go and dump.
tap it in our time. Maybe you can, maybe a tapper can tap around 1,000 trees a day.
That's correct.
Right, and there'll be more.
If you walk
Instead of using
miles,
labor.
if
Yes.
you walk 2 miles, that's a lot of time. You tap more than, like you say, another 200-300 trees. Because if you get out here to walk 2 miles, would be like an hour or two.
Absolutely, and what that does is that it also increases production, and when you
exactly,
production, there's more income going to come out. So I think one of the way the company would do, and we need people. I don't know when last the Minister of Labor did the visit, but the president shoot, and that's one of the reasons why we've been saying the president will have to take some time and tour those major construction area of our country.
Unannounced. So it's going to be
the other president that he did. President that I mean, she got angry. And I've respected our president that day, and I was really proud to be
unannounced, but this week, unannounced.
He moved and said to them, "This is unacceptable." She was like, "Playing food." She said, "No, you want to go?" Or then they had some of the president will have recession food. No, woman said, "I don't want to eat food, man. People are living this way." Come on, man.
No.
She got, and she was mad, and she told them time. That's so we decided. I mean, some people, I didn't know if I had the kind of money to do those things.
Yeah.
Rubber is a very important commodity in the world. You cannot make copper with artificial rubber.
Massive construction. But yes, on the other side also, I'll commend them because they are one of the higher contributors of taxes in the country. They've done some good stuff. So how can we, because they're going to stay in the country for a very long time, how can we work along with them so that we improve the life of our fellow compatriots? Right, so that we move the country forward. It's very important that we do those things. Very important. Thank you for having me, Given.
But you know, let me just say something. The 100 years contracting is just a turn off for me hearing that. Is there any way that they can reduce the number? Because it's just, what is 100 years? Who does that?
No, but I'm telling you, I would extend it to 30 years.
20 years or 10 years, can they do that instead of 100 years?
When they go for the review, they will discuss that.
Discuss it.
No, I thought Madam Sari already signed a deal for 30 years, 30 more years.
They have cut down the contract now to like 25 years, right?
Yes, 25 years. 25 years.
Oh, 25? Okay.
As the country move on, that's as the country will re-rectify, go revisit the agreement and do some rectification there moving forward. I think that's the way to go about it.
Right.
Again, the reason why the 99 years contract was done, I think it's part of the reason why at the time the country faced, those that were leading Liberia at the time were all very American Liberians.
That's right.
Go back and visit the intent of how those contracts were structured everywhere. So it's fine. Look at the amount of money they didn't pay for acres at the time when they were getting the 1 million acre of land.
10 cents. They pay 10 cents per acre. 10 cents.
Wow.
Yeah, it brings it to the process of saying the way they want to handle things and the way they're going about it. That's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close, don't forget, Friday, we're going to have Honorable Fabian Michael Lai. How you pronounce that name? L-A-I, that Lai?
Yeah, Lai.
Lai. He's going to be here on Friday, the 20th. He will be our guest. It's 9 p.m. Liberian time and 5 Eastern Standard Time. Guys, thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Let's make it hell. Let's come on and hold these guys accountable. God bless.
God bless.
Bye.